I'm here. All right, good. So as you know, I was getting this water service for years, and they were charging me like I got the thing for $150 and then $14 a month or something. And I thought, this is like costing me, you know. So I went down to Costco and I got a water machine, and it cost me $90.
All right.
So then the bottles of water cost like $12. And I thought, there's a hose right outside of my office.
Oh, no.
So I fill up this water thing, you know, every month or two or whatever. And the people in this complex complain when they see my bottle under the hose. Isn't that weird? They complain that I'm running the water or something. I mean, it's like I get notes from like the, you know, we've been told that you're filling your water bottle out of the hose. And I go, well, okay.
What's the hose for?
I think they think that I'm not supposed to drink hose water. So what they're saying is it may not be potable, but it is. It comes from the city, right?
I would
in
think
the hose.
So.
Yeah.
You're supposed to let the hose empty out before you drink it, though, because the water sitting in the plastic hose for days can be bad.
Really?
You do that?
Well, I know I haven't done that because I'm sneaking. That's why. That's why I was late. I just had started it, and I see them looking out of their windows. You know,
it's kind of like the you can't boil hot water rule.
What do you mean you can't boil hot water? What do you mean?
Like if you're going to cook pasta, you're supposed to put cold water in the pot and bring it to you're not supposed to put hot water in the pot and bring it to a boil.
Now, you see, that's some sort of a thing that Copernicus or some great man was sitting around his house, and somebody, I don't know, they wouldn't have had hot water. Somebody had to see hot water and noticed that it wasn't boiling any faster, or they were stoned. They had to all be stoned. That's what you've got to think about. Einstein, and that's what you've got to think about.
Galileo, Newton,
all of them, Copernicus, but also I think Edison. Over the holidays, they show all these crazy movies, you know, Thomas Alva Edison, complete nut. I mean, he built a giant, like, not hydropower, but, and lit the city, built it in like 60 days. And all the guys that owned the gas lights, they were suing the shit out of them because they didn't want to lose the money on the gas, right? If you and I went, you know what? Let's light the city. Let's light it. We'd be in a straitjacket, you know? But he would light this light bulb, and people would go, okay, it's a nice trick, they would say. He had to be stoned or drunk or something. How do you just keep going? Christina, please put the names
no problem.
Back up again, because I just reset it. By the way, for those of you that are Catholic, and we just went through the first communion on a high holy day. Christina, did you and your family go to church on Easter Sunday? Like, you know, many Catholics. No, really. They go Christmas. They'll go Thanksgiving sometimes. Mm-hmm. They'll go Easter.
Seasonal Catholics.
Yes, you know, and I go. I have friends that are Catholic, and I go. And I went to confession. It took about 9 hours to get the sins out and to really have a pretty big discussion with the priest, whether Garrett, when I was 14 years old, that counted as homosexuality. we had a big discussion.
I did watch this guy, Joel Osteen, because it was just background noise on TV, and then I started
How about when his eyes closed?
Have you seen this? Oh, my goodness.
You know, when a person's eyes closes, when they're speaking, this is taught to you in Psychology 101. It's like folded arms mean you don't want to take the information in. You don't want it. And I sometimes realize I'm in a conversation, especially with your kids, you don't want to be in this, so you fold your arms, and I unfold them and put my hands down on my side. I don't know what it means, but I know what the other one means. Also, when your palms are out and you're talking to someone, palms up, you're in a begging position. You're leaning forward and you're begging. Sometimes a person will come at you like yelling at you, right? But they'll have their hands out facing you, and it's almost like a dog that barks at you but's not going to bite you. It's like wagging its tail and barking at the same time. And it's another one. And there's others. But certainly when a person closes their eyes while they're speaking to you and does not know they're closing them, that is in every study of human behavioral science means that they know they're either not telling the truth or not sure of what they're saying or lying to themselves more than anything else. Joel Osteen almost has his eyes closed as much as his eyes are open on that pulpit. He is a ridiculously rich guy whose wife complained during a first-class incident a few years ago. He doesn't hit you with all the God stuff. He's smart enough not to. He's really kind of a good news kind of guy. And I don't believe for 1 minute that Joel Osteen believes there's an afterlife or Jesus or any of it. I just think the money is way beyond, and his speeches and everything he does is about the money, and he's got that.
Well, he sold out the Marlins Stadium. At least it looks sold out to me.
Unbelievable.
It was unbelievable. And I was trying to pay attention to what he was saying because it's a lot of fluff, but he's basically saying, like, it's okay when you fuck up because God loves you more and he's going to forgive you. Like, it's just like paving the way for people to fuck up in a way that's not, a mainstream fuck up.
That's absolutely brilliant on your part. Brilliant. You're right. And yet, there they are, sitting in front of him, and he gives them permission to be human beings. It has nothing to do with God or whatever. And wouldn't you want to go back to somebody like that? Let's say all week long, you're a complete asshole. You go to Joel Osteen on the weekend, and he goes, look, we have, with his eyes closed, we have... Every time I pause,
his deer in headlights life.
It'll be as if my eyes are closing every time I make a little joke. So when Jesus says that he's going to come back and going to come back to life and save, that's how he closes his eyes, just like that. Unbelievable. But then over the weekend, two crazy things happened. The Pope wanted to cancel his newspaper in Buenos Aires. And whatever his real name is how the newspaper came to him. And he was just, he took a vow of poverty and he was a Jesuit and all that stuff. And so he just got, like a newspaper. He calls up from the Vatican and he gives his name. And the newspaper guy says yes. He goes, well, I want to cancel my Buenos Aires newspaper. I don't want to come to my door anymore. And the guy goes, who is this? Who is this? He goes, it's me, Emilio. It's me. Father Virgilio, whatever his name is. And the guy says, you mean the Pope? He goes, yes, I'm the Pope. And I'd like you to cancel my newspaper. It's almost like a Saturday Night Live bit, isn't it? It's like, he's one of those kind of guys. He's a Jay Thomas.
Well, he can never go back to his apartment, right? Like, he left his apartment to see if he would be Pope, and then they elected him Pope, and how is he going to go back?
He did go back. He went back, and he got the little pad he slept on. He rolled the pad up, and he got the wooden bowl and the wooden spoon.
The plastic mobile?
He took all of it.
Wow.
Now listen, he did another crazy thing. He rode in the open without the shield. We had a couple of popes that were shot at, one that was wounded, by a crazy Serbian guy. Oh, the Serbs who started World War I, they love all that shit. So somebody took a pot shot at him, and the Pope forgave him and all, but then they covered him up in the Pope mobile. Well, he's waving and everything else, and he doesn't like wearing all the robes, and he doesn't like wearing all the stuff, and he wants your experience in church to be more relaxed and more normal, even though he's going to still be a conservative kind of guy. So I did everything I could so that I could take the Holy Sacrament on Sunday, went to confession on Saturday. It's nothing I don't even realize if I believed in or not. You bless me, Father, for I have sinned. And I said, it's been 15 years since my last confession. And the priest says, why have you been away so long? And I said, it's a time of confusion, time of thinking of, and he stopped me right there. They don't care about all that. In those 15 years, how many times have you masturbated?
Wow.
I said, Father, I'm here to say that for 15 years I've been questioning in that 15 years, have you had relations outside of your marital bed? I swear to God. Right, Christina? They want numbers. That's all they want.
Yep.
How many times, if you're a Catholic listening to me, tell me I'm wrong. Right, Christina? How many times did you do stuff?
How many children do you want to have? They even want to know that.
In the confessional, he began questioning me as if over 15 years I was going to brag like, Hugh Hefner or Will Chamberlain. Well, I've had 10,000 bitches, okay, Father? I mean, I don't know. I didn't know what to say. I said, I have no idea what those numbers are. Those numbers don't mean anything to me. I'm here with my friends and I want to take communion. So I'm in there for like quite a while, right? And I said, is there not some blanket I didn't kill anyone. I have not injured anybody physically. I have not left anybody, destitute or whatever. And then I said, I've had an illegitimate child like that. He goes like this. How many illegitimate children have you? I go, that was it. That was the one. That was it. But I did the right thing. We didn't, kill the child and all that stuff. I'm pro-choice, but I've never blah, 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 this and that. Yeah, even though I've had some women have had abortions. How many abortions? He went through the whole deal. Finally, I just want to take communion. That's all I want to do. So I say my 600 Hail Marys and Our Fathers and 14 rosaries, Christina, and 7 Stations of the Cross.
And you didn't lie about it.
These are punishments. That's how much punishment penance, I mean. So the Our Father, don't you, Garrett? The Father, Our Father art in heaven. You know that prayer, of course, don't you? From childhood?
Sort of. The trespassers
imagine,
and daily
all of that, yeah. There's many prayers, but they usually use the Our Father and the Hail Mary, and your penance would be 100 times. You'd have to say it. And then the rosary, Christina, I've forgotten how many. You just do a prayer on each bead.
On each bead, yep. My grandmother did each bead for every year of her life, I think. Her fingers were worn down.
Yes, and you would do them, Garrett, you'd pray on each bead, and I forget what they all mean, and then they would assign you 6 rosaries, which would take quite a while, and you could do it over a period of 6 months. But you may sin again.
You pray that a priest that you've never met asks you how many times you've masturbated over 15 years?
In high school, we had mandatory, if you were Catholic, which 99% of the kids were at my Jesuit high school, you had to go to confession.
Isn't it anonymous confession?
Yeah, right. You work at Sirius XM. There's a little shroud in front of you. You're around with everybody every day. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. And it's Ira. You'd know everybody's voice, wouldn't you? Suppose Christina came to you and you were Father Garrett. Go ahead, Chris. Just slide the door back. It's a little screen. It's shrouded. And just slide it back, and Christina, you say what you'd say in confession in a normal voice. Okay, ready? Slide the screen back. Go ahead, Christina.
Wait, I'm confessing?
Start it off.
Bless me, Father, for I have sinned.
Hold on a minute. Father Garrett, who is that?
It's Christina.
There you go. Now, you would know her, but the confessional, did you hear that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, hold on a minute. I swear to God, I didn't touch anything. That came from another place. Hey, you know what? I love these guys on Ghost Adventures. Wow, what was that? So you would hear a confession, but it's it's like a doctor, client privilege, lawyer, all that kind of stuff. Well, I did that. And then I went up, Christina, stood in that big long line, and they hand you the host, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they say whatever, and you go,
the body and blood of Christ.
Of Christ. What's so crazy was, and this is the new Pope, I stand in line 15, 20 minutes. I've been through this whole thing. They put the host in my hand, and the altar boy comes up with a pepper mill. Wants to know if I want ground pepper. Wow.
And you're like, yes, please.
Any Parmesan?
Garrett, that's the longest setup of a joke I've done in a long time. I made myself laugh all day Sunday as I heard the idiots shuffling to church. The Jay Thomas Show. Dan, you're in Cincinnati, and now you're on the Jay Thomas Show. Yes. Hello, Dan.
Hey, Jay. Will you still be affected by the changes at Howard 101?
What changes?
Well, supposedly it's going to be the AGT channel now, and they've changed some programming around because of it.
I have no idea.
Yeah, we're kicked off Fridays.
Yeah, we're
because
done.
We're not America's Got Talent centric.
AGT 101.
When did they say that?
Today.
This morning.
Are we really off?
Oh,
my God.
We're really off. They announced it. It's been all over Howard 100 all day.
You know what? Did they mention my fucking name?
Yep.
No, come on.
Yeah. Howard said you're done. You didn't get a call?
You know what? I did get a call. I didn't return it.
Well, that's...
Well, it wasn't from Howard. It was from somebody. It was from somebody in the office.
Now we don't have to get up early.
You know what? That fucking pisses me off.
That's not an April Fool's joke, is it?
I hope you know what? With my fucking career, I hope it isn't. I'll have fucking Robert Davi fucking put a hit on him.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Well, I hate it when he talks.
You know what? All right. You know what? I don't want to talk about it. I don't know a fucking thing about this. And I don't do all that fan shit and all that crap. God damn it. You know, I got 2 or 3 phone calls from people that always want to give me bad fucking news.
No, I was hoping they'd reschedule your Sunday because I like to hear your show on Fridays.
All right. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. What a pain in the fucking ass. Y'all don't care. You don't care shit.
Me or the listeners?
You, the listener. Why would I say that to a blanket of individuals that are probably on their bended knee now, Garrett, worshiping me? I love these guys are on the air like 3 years. I know they worship me. My listeners, you get rid of me. Wait till you see the notes and messages you receive. Yeah, really? I had like 1.5 million listeners in L.A. They canned me. I never heard one thing about some outcry of, get him back. Get him back. They put on 2 big fat guys from Sacramento. I was done. The fat boys. That was it. Anyway, you know what? You don't give 3 shits. That's what pisses me off. But I'm talking about you. It's all right. Well, we can't do anything. That's why. That's what I'm
excited I don't have to wake up early Fridays.
God, that's terrible. You mean to tell me you don't find it interesting that we have a different time slot and different people, a different energy? It helps people listen to the afternoon show even more.
We pawned off all the listeners we could. Either they're here or they're not now, and now it's time to move on.
Really? Oh, that's what you think. You think that...
Maybe we could get a Opie and Anthony channel show on Friday.
I would do it. But guess what?
They don't have those Fridays.
I think that, how about whenever? I think those 2 guys would have a little bit of a problem with me.
Well, now they're on our channel. I'm sure they ran that through you.
That's April Fool's. That's an April Fool's joke.
No, they're here on Sundays.
I pulled that on you. I did on the 31st, so no one would know what it really was. Oh, boy. Okay. Let's go to Shawnee in Boston. Number 2. Yeah, Shawnee. Yes, Shawnee, how are you?
Yeah, I actually went to confession once and ended up in an exorcism
Did you steal that, or that's a good joke?
I just made that up, buddy.
God damn, you got to go on a stage and say, "Oh, I went to confession, on Easter Sunday." That's funny shit.
Oh,
God,
thank you.
Yeah, that's a great line. That's a $150 line right there. So, how old? Wait a minute now. How old are your kids? You have little kids?
Yeah, they're 6 and 9.
Did you hide Easter eggs this weekend?
Yep.
Now you're a prepper also. You think the world's coming to an end. Did you hide them in a little special metal container so that, nothing could come through the earth and hurt them?
Well, no, but I inside of their eggs were like waterproof matches and sewing supplies and freeze-dried food.
You gave them prepper shit for Easter. That's funny.
And okay. a couple of jelly beans, too, just for the chill.
Right.
I'm sure they last forever.
I hope you do this act on stage. I think you need to talking about your life, talking about what your childhood was like and everything else, and intersperse the jokes in there without being self-deprecating. Like every person with a disability is self-deprecating. Every comic with a disability. That's why I ran that woman that day from the Moth Stories, because she wasn't self-deprecating. She was all twisted up with, multiple sclerosis. She was going to have sex and made it into a pleasurable experience. And even, no matter how creepy people might think it is, she wasn't self-deprecating. Every one of these crippled comics.
Yeah, that was very interesting. And I kind of felt bad for getting a boner during it.
Yeah. All right. Well, are the kids smart? Can they find things? Were they good at it? A lot of times my kids they'd be out, Garrett, they'd get up almost at, sun up. And we still have them out there by like 8, 9 at night, still looking for the eggs. We did a hell of a job. Sometimes the egg would be buried a little too deeply for their little 4-year-old hands to get to, Yeah. One year, my wife and I put out about 60 eggs, hard-boiled eggs, all over our yard in Connecticut. We wake up the next day, and raccoons had eaten every one of the eggs. And there was we had to go to the drugstore and buy plastic shit. And raccoons ate every egg. I mean, that wasn't our neighborhood, Garrett. We didn't know that in a wealthy neighborhood like that, raccoons would come around, but they did. All right, Shawnee. Now, did you worry that either one, like a lot of these people in the movies, like Forrest Gump, when his wife had the child, he looked at her and he said, "Is he like me?" Like that, right? And then she says, "No, he's not an idiot. He's not a half-wit like you." Did you worry, Shawnee, that one of your children would inherit this speech malady that you have?
Yeah, it actually was. We had a lot of tests run on them and tried to look for any sort of defects of the brain.
Yeah. Now, when the doctor stuck, it's an amniocentesis needle, and they stick it in through the stomach, right into, the pouch that's holding the child. With your type of malady, did they look for like the needle to move and jump because the kid would be stuttering? Did they look for little movement like that on the
ticks?
Well,
like the kid, even the juice inside of him was jumping, Garrett. He had jumping juice.
Well, they actually made me leave the room because I was upset getting the nurse that was trying to take the fluids.
Boy, I bet when you get nervous and excited, the stutter must go away completely.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? That would be just the opposite. The guy stutters all through the movie, and a real tragedy happens. He goes, all right, men, come on. Let's get the fire department. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's save it. As soon as there's a tragedy, he doesn't stutter. See, I believe in the opposite. I believe in the opposite. See that? Okay. Well, thank you so much, Shawnee.
Yeah. Jay, I wanted to tell you, I had a crappy Easter.
Really?
Yeah. Well, my wife and I were fighting all day, and we went for Easter brunch, and we left the it was like a hotel restaurant, and we're driving home, and we could smell poop in the car.
Yeah.
And so everyone checked their shoes, but I couldn't because I was driving. And by the time when we got to my aunt's house, we realized that I had stepped in human feces inside the hotel.
In the hotel?
In the whole, yeah, there was shit in the ladies' bathroom.
Wait a minute.
Why were you in the
Wait a
ladies'
minute.
bathroom?
Why would you be in the ladies' bathroom?
Listen,
Huh?
it was right as you went in the door, I guess. And then one must have let up some nuggets outside on the rug. It was a dark rug. I couldn't tell.
A nugget. Now, wait a minute now. You went through the entire brunch experience not realizing you had human feces in the bottom of your shoe.
Yeah, well, once or twice during the meal, I smelled something. And I thought somebody beside me must have been the one that shit themselves. And I was like, oh, boy, she really smells. And it was me.
Oh, my God. Jesus. Wow.
So, yeah, it ruined a pair of my favorite shoes.
You sure it was human?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, sometimes, they have these hotels where they let the dogs in and all that kind of weird shit.
Maybe.
All right. Thank you.
But
Thank you very much.
That isn't as funny of a story, though.
I can't.
That's not the full story anymore.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, there's more.
Yeah, I don't want any more. All right, thank you.
What if you sang it?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, I mean, come on. How long can... in a little while, we'll have a great young kid who was not allowed to perform in his high school talent show. And many people said, why would you care? And I have done this. Why do you care so much about high school talent shows? Let's go around the horn with Christina and Garrett. You've known me a long time. I've told any number of stories. I've repeated lots and lots of stories. I realize that. And there are many more to tell. Many more to tell. And there is something about talent shows, high school talent shows. It could be a pro or a con, Garrett, but I always feel for the contestants. Garrett, and I bring the kids on. What do you think the reason is?
Napoleon Dynamite.
Napoleon Dynamite? What does it have to do with me?
You saw the movie, and he does the dance at the talent show at the end, and you cried about it and realized...
Oh, and wait a minute, like Little Miss Sunshine.
Yeah.
That was another one that affected me.
See?
Really affected me. And also About a Boy. You ever see that movie?
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
All of those.
Yep.
Mary Catherine
Well,
Gallagher.
why do you think it is, Christina? Why do you think it
because
is?
you were rejected as a small boy.
Oh.
Here's the truth. In high school, after I'd blown my knee and I couldn't play football, and I'll never know if this, it's so funny. People did things for me and came out of nowhere and helped me many times. And when I asked them if they knew that I was having a problem at that time, more likely than not, the people say, no, I just offered you this, or this teacher comes to me, Mr. Fleckman, and he says, he's the theater teacher and speech teacher, and he's a big guy, and he's going to become a Jesuit priest. I mean, a big, rough-looking guy. And he says, look, I see how funny you are in the classroom, because I do stand-up he says, we've got this big talent show at Jesuit. Was huge, packed every night, 1,200-seat auditorium, huge. And these two guys, I'm working with them, but I'd like you to MC the talent show. And I'd like you to work the first half with one guy and the second half with another. And these two guys, Garrett, were the typical straight A student eggheads who thought they were funny, right? Mm-hmm. In the A and B class. I'm in G, okay? The school went A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And I was in G. And these guys were in A and B, right? So I wrote all kinds of stuff, and put together an act, a stand-up act using Bill Cosby and Woody Allen stuff, because not everybody had. And I put my own stuff in there and made fun of the school. And I wrote skits. And the fucking house came down. The fucking building, the roof came down. And when I heard some comic stuff. When I heard this, I'm like, 16 years old. I mean, the place went up for fucking grabs. And so I did it for 2 nights. My brother comes down the aisle and says it is standing room only. No one can get into the auditorium. And he says to me, you are like a professional. This is my big brother who I idolized. Well, I killed the second fucking night. And no matter what the act was, the band, the juggling, the whatever it was, I was elected winner of the talent show, but I wasn't a contestant. And from then on, I'm not joking. That's when I went, wow. And I started doing other talent shows around town, just, and then that's what did it. And you're right, Christina, when you're rejected sometimes, it is hard to, and I've been rejected plenty of times after
please,
that.
I went for Lucy. All I got was Peppermint Patty. That was the hardest moment of my life. Then I found out Peppermint Patty was a lesbian. I was so confused.
How did Peppermint Patty become a lesbian? Is that what it meant?
She's always running around with that 4-eyed little girl.
Aren't they babies? Aren't they about 5 or 6 years old? You know what, Christina? You better go to confession. Oh, Garrett, I wish you were Catholic. Every time you do something to the Catholic family, they go this, well, you better go to confession. Like that. Where were you last night? We called over there. You weren't there. Where did you go? When I left Mike's, that's where you were supposed to stay. I know. But when I left Mike's, we had to go get Mike's bike. So, oh yeah. And she goes like this. Well, you know what? You better go to confession.
Like that's right there? Or like next Sunday?
No, meaning you're lying. No, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturday. Oh my God, John, you better go confess because you're telling a big fib. She'd never call you a liar. That was the worst thing you could become. Oh my God, what a big fibber you become. You're a fibber. Well, I don't even know where fib comes from. Usually you told a little fib, not to oh, you're a big fibber. Don't lock those doors. We don't allow locked doors in our home. And all of a sudden, you'd hear me go, click, get it back open.
Such a rebel.
I know. Let's go to Rich, who's in Pennsylvania. Yes, Rich, go ahead. What an around the horn that was. It was a personal, kind of heartfelt. I've got a better one. I've got a better around the horn coming up, and I'm going to give you the clue before we go to break and let you think about it. Okay? It's a brand new invention by a major company, a brand new, and it's the full page ads of this brand new thing that's coming. And the clue is beaver for Garrett and Christina, and we'll go to break in a moment. Yes, Rich, go ahead.
Yeah, the last time I went to confession.
Yeah.
I was confessing my so-called sins to the priest.
Yes.
And I could have sworn that while I was talking to him, he was rubbing one out. That was the last time I went to confession.
Well, I would imagine. Now, look, what area of the country was this in? What is it? A major city or rural?
New Jersey.
Was it rural or was it a small parish?
It was a small town, about 30 miles west of New York City.
Now let's go. The guy's lonely. He's in there. Who knows what he was? Could have been scratching his leg, for all you know. What was your confession about? Was your confession about you having sex with a man or a woman?
No, it was confessing about lying and stealing and all that happy horse shit my mother made me go.
You know what's weird? That sounds like if he was jerking off, he was one of those guys.
He wasn't scratching no leg, I'll tell you that. Because if he was, then he had some kind of skin disease going on there, but it wasn't.
Yeah. Well, he could have had psoriasis. He could have had that. He could have had something.
That was the last time I went, because you know what? You just know that something's going on there. You know.
Now, how old were you when you thought the priest was masturbating during your telling of lies and
stealing stories?
13,
you're stealing. So the priest got off on hearing naughty boys talk.
Yes, he was.
You were a naughty boy. Now, what was your penance? I bet you were. What was your penance?
Like 5 Hail Marys, I think. I don't quite remember.
Wow. Well, he must have come good. He must have come really good. And did you tell your mom about this?
No, but I told her I'm not going back to confessionals no more.
And what did she say?
She said, "Well, we'll see about that," and I pretty much done that one out.
So when I was in high school, Gary, you'd asked me this question before. How do you know who to go to? There were some priests, they all knew you. We all got taught by everybody. There was a few priests that you knew, and like you'd take an easy class, which wasn't allowed in that school, but in college, you would line up for the easy priest who knew who you were and just did his thing. Right?
I did this too. You go to Father
There
John,
was
never Father
one priest. His name was Father Beaudoin. He had a sister that looked just like him, like a short, pie-faced, pinch-faced, little stocky man. He was a alcoholic. You would see him on the weekends laying, prostrate on I'm not kidding you, right in front of the rectory door, laid completely out, drunk, coming in from the weekend, right? He taught speech. He made us put our hands behind our backs, and when we gave a speech, we went like this. For the first 30 seconds that you realize you're in outer space. That's how you gave a speech. That was my speech. I'm not joking. We were in G. We were in the lowest class. They put it in. And once when my brother came back from summertime, he was really, really dark. And Father Beaudoin, when he called him nigger. Okay? Yeah, absolutely. Unbelievable. During the wintertime, we wore these really tight Marine Corps woolen jackets, woolen pants and woolen jackets, and they fit kids really tightly. We had a couple of little guys in our class, guys that never got above, barely 5 feet. And one kid wasn't yelling loud enough or couldn't continue the speech or whatever. We're in these tight uniforms. He picks him up. He was a guy about 4'9", and he puts him and he hangs him on a coat hanger in the back by his lapel. Hung him there. Yeah, this Father Beaudoin. Christina, he would have a confessional, and the 3 queerest-looking kids would be standing in line for his confessional, right? But every now and again, a priest would come through because there were too many guys packing up at these other priests, right? So there's 6 confessionals. 4 people at Father Beaudoin and 35 at each of the other people, right? So the priest would go, come on, move over here. Father Beaudoin has time. Get over here. And there's 2 guys on each side, and it's wooden. You can hear it. And the church is not that big. It was our high school church. Guys would say stuff to Father Beaudoin, and you would hear him go like this. You what? You did what? You think I'm kidding you? And he came out once, and he pulled a guy out of the confessional and threw him out of the church. Now, I'm telling you, he did it. It was insane.
But then wouldn't everyone hate him because that's the place to do that? And then God...
They hated him. But for some reason... These priests, they didn't turn people in for buggering little boys. You think they're going to turn a guy in because he yells a lot? I don't know. They just thought I don't know what they thought it was. He was really disturbing. And he had, tenure. He was been around forever, right? And he was strong as shit. And you would go in there and you would start some bullshit confession. Here's the other one. The window would slam back and go, shunk. What's your confession? Like that. That's how you talk. It would be like giving a confession to Don Corleone. What's your confession? Imagine if Tony Soprano was a priest. depending on the mood he was in, right? He would pull you out of the confessional. That's Father Beaudoin. Like that. So, you know it was him. You go, Father, I missed Mass on Wednesday, which really isn't a sin. And I made fun of a friend of mine in the yard. Like that. And you give him 2 more, and he'd go, how long are you going to sit there and bullshit me? That's what he'd say to you. How long are you going to bullshit me? You're going to bullshit me. You can't bullshit God. Like that.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Father Beaudoin. And any friends of mine that, are listening to this, I'll get the emails as soon as I sign off. It's absolute. Now, they would throw this guy out. He'd be in jail and everything else. But for me, that was part of my experience of life. Isn't that weird? I found sad, kind of weird shit that I saw in high school as kind of like part. Don't you have that too, Garrett? They're the stories in your head. Even though some poor bastard was being bullied or put in a tin can. We had guys who'd put them in a garbage can and put the lid on the can and make them stay in there. And sit on top of it and hit it with a stick and shit. Yeah. Christina, remember how when you bullied kids in school and now you have those
I remember
memories?
Being bullied. My glasses
you have those memories.
in a sewer.
You have those memories.
My
She got into
glasses were
one
thrown in
fight
a sewer.
one time, and that's all. She's like Madison in the hot dogs.
Well, there
one
you go.
girl beat her
It
up
was
after the bus.
devastating. And it wasn't one time. I also got a snowball hit at my glasses, and the lens popped out. So shut up.
Wow.
Now look,
I thought I was
Christina, would you rather that those 2 things didn't happen to you? Be honest.
Well, yeah, of course I would rather that those
Why?
two things didn't happen.
You're not. You're not that
horrible
interesting of a
time.
person, and now you have 2 interesting stories.
Well, according to Garrett, I beat those stories to death, so it's not as interesting.
I'm not saying you beat him to death. I'm just saying you fall back on that one story
Garrett,
like you had
my
this big
experience.
bullying
I'm sorry I didn't get
experience.
the shit kicked out
Hey,
of me every
Garrett.
day like you did.
Can we be honest? I bet you when those little buds started growing, the teasing stopped.
That's
okay?
right.
When the nips got puffy, the teeth
Oh yeah, when the
stopped.
nips got puffy, and when the saddle,
Puffy,
and by
and
the way,
contact lenses got into my eyes.
and when the saddlebags started to look a lot more filled with cream puffs. Okay, yeah. Let's go to John of Kentucky. John, what have we been talking about that caused you to stop whatever you were doing? What were you doing when you decided to call us, John?
Oh, raping my sister. Hey, Jay.
What?
I was raping my sister.
You were raping your sister. You can't say that.
Well,
No,
you
you
know,
can't say that. Hold it. I'm going to be. No, you can't say
Wow.
rape. You can't say that. Take that back right now. Take it
I'll
back.
take it back right now. Hey, Jay.
Yeah, what were you doing? You can't say shit like that. That's bad.
All right, well, I was having tea with my sister.
All right. Now that's even better. Now. And in Kentucky, having tea can mean a lot of things.
That's right.
Yes, go ahead. He was T-boning his sister. Yes, John. Yes.
Question, Jay. You said
Yeah.
the Pope canceled his subscription to the newspaper.
In Buenos Aires, yeah, because he's not going to live there anymore.
Did he cancel his subscription to Blue Boy magazine?
Not yet. All right. I don't know anything about that.
Jay.
What is it?
You know why when you go into confession that the priests keep asking you how many times you masturbated?
I've always wondered. Why do you think that is?
Because you were the first round draft pick in their Center Fantasy League.
All right. Get rid of him. Thank you. The reason why I mentioned school, talent shows was little Eric is going to come back. What's little Eric's last name?
Hensel.
Hensey. Eric Hensey is going to come back. They wouldn't let him at the Violet Elementary School in St. Clair Shores. His mother was lovely, by the way, and brought him on because his talent is hand farting. Garrett, I believe, brought up that this Jerry Phillips, who's been on our show before, is a professional hand farter and a hand musician, a gynecologist, a hand farter, a hand flatulator, a manualist. These are all words that are used to describe him. He started at about the same time that little Eric did.
Yep.
And now he can play Beethoven's Fifth. He can play, rock and roll. I wonder if he can do Sir Duke by Stevie
Get this
Wonder.
guy's the principal on here and grill him. Put him on the Indie Grill.
This is what I like to do about the principal. Just like the newspapers. We contacted the principal, and he had no comment for this. I like when they go, we contacted the murder suspect, and he had no comment on this. So we'll have a pro on and a young fellow who, if the little boy were ill, Garrett, this would be one of those Make-A-Wish deals.
It would, yeah.
It would be. That's how close it is to unbelievable. But the boy's fine. He had a blood test the other day. He's just fine.
Maybe he has a cold or something.
And the professional hand manipulator, fartist, gynecologist, hand flashillator, hand musician, the great Jerry Phillips. We'll have them on in about 15 minutes.
Jay Thomas.
It's the Jay Thomas Show.
Afternoons. The Jay Thomas Show.
It's the show that the average listener would do if they could do their own radio show.
Sirius XM 104.
Out of all the promos that we run, I think that is really the most honest, right? This is supposed to be the show that you would do if you had a radio show. I really do. I mean that. Now, you would be certainly different than me, and many people who can't stand me would say, well, it wouldn't be the show I would. You know what I mean? I'm just talking, and I'm talking about things that either bother me or I want to talk about or whatever, and then have people on that I find interesting. I mean, there's really not much I ever do in the 3-hour period that's exactly what I'd like to do. And then, of course, Christina and Garrett, they get to do what they want to do, too, kind of, in a sort of little tiny way. But anyway, now the clue was beaver. We're going around the horn. This is a brand new national product. Full-page ads are being run in newspapers and a blast on the Internet. Major company. I would say it has something to do with people liking you more. The clue is beaver. Okay? Clue is beaver. Christina?
I mean, when
Brand
you said
product.
beaver, all I can think of was maybe like a modern day chastity belt.
You think there's a major company that's selling a modern,
You got it, man.
What's that?
She got it, didn't she?
Garrett, I'm not joking. A full-page ad of a chastity belt? I don't think that's gonna.
She got it. You got it.
No, she didn't. We'll see. All right, what's your guess?
Now, a big company makes this, or this is a brand new company?
No, a huge company, brand new product. It'll make people like you, and the clue is beaver.
Crest has made invisible braces that you don't have to go to the doctor for.
Wow, you are so close.
Whoa.
Oh, my God. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Scope has announced new bacon flavor Scope.
Oh,
God.
That's right. We put bacon in mouthwash. Feast your eyes on our video at scopebacon.com. Garrett?
Oh.
It is a full-page ad in L.A. Times, USA Today. The Post has one also, I think, there in New York. The Cleveland Plain Dealer, all of them.
Why don't you just brush your teeth and then drink a gallon of orange juice? It's disgusting.
So think of bacon, and what would your you're in the motto department. Think of bacon, Christina. What would bacon do for your breath? They have a catchphrase. You ready? Have a catchphrase.
No, boy.
What does bacon do?
Maybe the bacon will be advertising on the morning show that's taking our place on Howard 101.
For breath that sizzles. That's what they say. Did you go online to scopebacon.com?
Will a man like this if it was marketed more towards a woman?
Hold it.
To scopeaprilfoolsjoke.com.
Is it a scope? Oh, it's an April Fool's joke?
Yes.
It is?
Yeah.
You know what? That makes me fucking mad. No, because it's really in the newspapers.
Whoa.
It says kills 99.9% of bad breath germs with 100% bacon taste. I didn't think it. God damn it. That makes me mad. It's like you didn't send me a fake newspaper, did you? Because that makes me mad. Because I'm so fucking stupid. I looked at it and I thought, they'd never put an ad in a paper like that. You know what? And I hate April Fool.
The time has come to declare the crowning achievements in the world of bacon. Level 1, bacon. Level 2, carbonated bacon. 3, spreadable bacon. 4, lather up. 5, naming your offspring bacon. 6, set the mood. 7, permanent bacon. 8, honey, I love you bacon. 9, oh, this little old thing. And bacon level 10, a bacon. Now, what could possibly top bacon level 10? Why, it's none other than bacon level 11. Scope bacon for breath that sizzles.
Gosh darn it.
I just sent you an email of more marketing jokes, so you won't be fooled throughout the day, just in case.
Gosh darn it. I just feel like such a fool right now. How much time do we have? I don't even know if I could fill the time. I feel so foolish.
Not a minute.
Okay. Dear Jay,
there's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
All right. I really have nothing to say. Okay. Jerry Phillips, who is a professional hand farter, and an up-and-coming hand farter, Eric Hinsey, and his mother, Emily, they were unceremoniously asked to leave a competition at the Violet Elementary School. I don't have my note in front of me. I don't know what state is it. What horrible state is it? Ohio or something? What is it? Illinois? I don't know where it is.
Michigan.
In Michigan.
St. Clair Shore.
In a few moments, this young man will be taught by a master. And for the rest of his life, he'll carry with him the man that mentored him and launched him into immortality.
Jay Thomas.
The Jay Thomas Show.
It's the afternoon show. Sirius XM 104. The Jay Thomas Show. Indeed. Sirius XM 104.
Just before we bring on a wonderful little boy, the light of his family's life, one of my idiots comes in here, wrecked the car, smashed into somebody. Thank God it wasn't another hit and run because they found his iPod on the ground. He left him a note. Otherwise, it would have, been handcuffs like before. Oh my God. So lucky your kid's only 7 years old. I'm sorry. You know what? This is too wonderful of an interview to ruin with my personal tragedy of children that are just like my mother and my side. How about that one? Let's go to Emily Hinsey. Emily, welcome back to the show. You're the mother of the great Eric, who was no longer allowed to perform his hand farting at the school. Welcome back to the show, Emily and Eric.
Thanks for having us.
Wonderful. Did anybody say, hey, I heard you on the radio, and the principal and the school board, there's been tremendous pressure now that you've been on the Jay Thomas Show?
Oh, yes, they've heard, and they have absolutely no comment.
So the boy is still just hand farting and having this incredible talent within the confines of the Hinsey home.
He is.
Great talent.
And he gives some personal shows to people that stop by.
Mm-hmm. Eric, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
It's Uncle Jay here. Eric, I want to tell you something. If you're going to be, the term out of the box when you're not thinking like everybody else, you're doing stuff out of the box?
Yes.
Yeah, that's who you are. You're already at, what are you, like 7 years old, 8 years old? How old are you?
7.
You're 7. You're already thinking out of the box. It happened to Einstein. It happened to the Beatles. It happened to Justin Bieber. See how I put that right in your wheelhouse?
Wow.
Out of the, of course. Out of, it happened to Bart Simpson. Out of the box.
One Direction.
That's right. Do not let this in your small, young, growing mind. Don't let it injure you. This is really a good thing. They just don't understand, do they?
No.
Right. Now, I'm going to introduce you to a man. Go to handmusician.com. Jerry Phillips, welcome back to the Jay Thomas Show. How are you?
I'm fine. Thanks for having me back, Jay.
Well, I don't know if you heard the story about Eric Hinsey, who was unable in Michigan, in St. Clair Shores, Michigan, to perform at his talent show, and I'll let him play for you a little bit in a minute. But did stuff like this happen to you too? By the way, Eric, can you hear Jerry Phillips, the professional hand fart player?
Yes.
Okay, Jerry, this is Eric.
Hi.
Hi, Eric.
There you go. So now that go ahead, Jerry.
I'm from Michigan, too. I live in Troy.
Whoa.
How far is Troy from St. Clair?
Minutes.
Way.
Emily, did you know that within minutes, I mean, listen, this is unbelievable. And, I don't always believe in God, except when he speaks directly to me about something that I need to do right away. But this is pretty unbelievable, don't you think, Emily?
This is great.
Okay.
Let me tell you something.
Yes.
I was 9 years old when I learned how to do what I do. I played in all 3 talent shows in high school. I started out with Beethoven's Fifth, the Blue Danube, and the Can-Can. The next year, I did Black Magic Woman and You Make Me Feel Like Dancing. And the third year, I did Sir Duke. And I got standing ovations. And it's your son, Eric, if you're any good at it, you'll get a standing ovation, too.
Well, here's the problem. And Emily, you can come in here now. Do you realize was that a public school, Jerry, that you went to?
It sure was.
Okay. Is that a public school you're going to, Emily? You and your son?
Yes, it is.
You now have a precedent that was set by a professional
in
hand
1975.
Wow.
A hand flatulator. You have a precedent. I'm not joking. And so I mean this.
He's like Rosa Parks.
I would at least just call a local attorney and have him send a letter and say the state school authorities of Michigan already allowed Jerry Phillips 3 years in a row, 30-something years ago, to do the same exact thing, and then send him Jerry's website, and then let them put that in their scholastic pipe and smoke it.
You know what? I am going to do that.
Right. Nice. Now, Jerry, I don't know how much it would cost, but I would be willing to buy a lesson, since you're so close, for you to give Eric at least one professional lesson. Could we arrange that somehow?
It would be my pleasure to do it for nothing.
That's what I was hoping you were going to say. And we'll send everybody we can to handmusician.com. Emily, do you mind meeting Jerry Phillips, who's many years away from what your son is now beginning, so you can see the kind of success that Eric would be?
Oh, we would be honored to.
Eric, did you hear? Can you understand everything that Uncle Jay's doing for you?
Yes.
Do you think am I better than most of your real uncles?
Yes.
Yeah, that's all I needed.
I believe Emily has a yesing no card and just holds one up.
No. Emily, make one that says applause, if you don't mind. Jerry, could you do something here? Well, first of all, Eric, maybe you're nervous. Would you play something for Jerry so he can hear you? Would you play a little?
Yes.
All right. Please tell us what it is and what part of the body are you best at?
McDonald.
On your hands or under your arm? Where are you going to do it?
Under my arm.
Nice.
Okay, Jerry Phillips, can you hear it? Can you hear us okay?
I can hear you great.
Old MacDonald from 7-year-old Eric Hinsey in Michigan to the professional hand manipulator, hand musician, Jerry Phillips. Go ahead, Eric.
Old MacDonald had a E-I-E-I. My family had a E-I-E-I with a... And Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh.
Hera.
Oh,
Hera.
I'll pat up. Yeah.
Wow, that's unbelievable. Now, Jerry, I would say that it's rudimentary, but I think the boy, and he plays, don't you play other parts of your body too, Eric? What other parts?
No, I just make music with my hands.
Right. But do you do it with, can you do it with your hands too, Eric?
I'm practicing. I did it once, but I'm still practicing it.
Jerry, would you be willing to even see him and help him maybe with one lesson on the hands?
Anytime.
Okay. All right. You know what, Emily?
Yeah.
I'm a little teary right now. I'm not kidding you. This is unbelievable. It's unreal. Emily, why don't you just say out loud what I've done for you and your son?
You are our inspiration. Thank you.
I don't know. When you see these Dr. Oz shows and Dr. Phil, they whisper in their ear to say how great these people are. I don't have a whisperer, so I have to say it, and then they have to say it back to me. So, Emily Hensey and Eric Hensey. Jerry Phillips, where are you performing that I can promote for you? Where can people see your great talent?
I'm going to be on the Discovery Channel worldwide here coming up. I don't know exactly when, and they came to my house last Wednesday and did an interview, and I've been traveling around the world doing this.
What show on Discovery?
You Have Been Warned.
Oh,
you have been warned.
A new
Wow.
show, I guess.
Jerry, I hope it's not an imposition, but I meant what I said. I'd like maybe Emily and Eric, you can drive to where I go in a public place. Drive to where Jerry is, and if there's any expense at all, try and keep it under $50, and I'll take care of it. All right.
Can I play a song?
Yeah. Hold on, and we'll give you'll exchange messages. Okay.
Okay, great. Thanks, Jay.
Jerry, thank you. Go to handmusician.com to find out all about the great Jerry Phillips. Thanks a lot. Wow. Christina, take care of it. Yeah. There you go. Wow. Wow. You think I'm kidding you? I'm moved by that. I know you think I'm kidding. And to hear your laughter, Garrett, even made me realize, home run.
That McDonald's song was the best. I was like, why is he singing? And then
Oh, well, I was very embarrassed for a moment. I thought, oh, my God, the kid's freaking out. Or he was going to do it with his tongue and go like that, which would have ruined the whole thing. Jerry hesitated before he said he'd teach him hand movements, I think, didn't he, a little bit?
I don't think he wants to give up his craft.
Well, no, I want the boy to learn hand.
He's got the market cornered right now. And now if there's two hand musicians.
You know what? I bet you this guy, Jerry, could figure out a way to make money off of this kid, And then in a few years, we'll see him spitting on photographers. Hand musician, Hottie. How about that? He calls not Eric anymore, just Hottie. Hottie Hensey. Hottie Hensey. Spit on photographers the other day. Wow. You know who was born on April Fool's Day, 1979? Oh, boy. Someone that's huge in your life. 1979. And came fully formed the day that they were born. What? Came fully formed and began performing that day. Wow.
That's pretty impressive.
Bart Simpson.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like a comic book or something? I guess.
No, The Simpsons was on a show with the English comedian who played my girlfriend and won a couple of Emmys on Love and War.
Tracy Ullman.
She does. No, yeah, Tracy Ullman.
But that wasn't 79.
Yeah, what? Maybe I don't know where it was drawn, but this is what happened. There would be a portion of the Tracy Ullman show, and a buddy of mine who also worked on. See, Love and War wasn't until the 90s, so I don't know when this happened, but there was a big lawsuit. So James Burrows, is it? Is that not Burrows? No, James, some big director that owns
Brooks.
The Simpsons.
James
Brooks and Matt Groening and all those guys did this little bit on, I think the Tracy Ullman show was on ABC, maybe.
No, Fox.
No, was on Fox.
Yeah.
And they would do this little Simpsons bit, right, on the show. And it became hugely successful, but it was within the confines of her show.
But I think it was 89, not 79. Because Fox didn't come until the 80s, the channel itself.
I don't know. You know what? Oh, maybe he drew him for the first time. Maybe Matt
that
Groening.
Could be
Groening.
Groening or Groening. I don't know.
Groening, yeah, Matt Groening. So anyway, maybe he drew him for the first time as a kid. I don't know. I have no idea. It says 70. That could be wrong. But maybe it's April Fool's from the calendar people, you know? So then Tracy Ullman says, excuse me, you're running this show that was a part of my, hit television show for 4 or 5 years. That's material that came out of my show. I am owed money, for some portion of money for the success of The Simpsons. Fox countersued her, and I'm going to tell you why they won. Fox won. I'm sure it wasn't in the contract properly. It wasn't there. And so she introduced the Simpsons, got them going, got this crazy kind of, off-the-wall cartoon going, and got not a penny for it, nothing. And they didn't even offer her any money, her production company. They just said no, flat out no, thanks a lot, see you later, you didn't sign the right contract. My agent, who's the same as Howard's, Don Buchwald, these guys are famous for contracts being held up for some little minutia. And you're going, God, I want to get this deal done, can't we? And I'll tell you a big one. When I was doing the pilot for that show, Love and War, no sitcom pilot had ever been longer than half an hour. They were always a half an hour. And they'd run the pilot, and they'd already had an order for it or whatever, right? So the pilot was the first episode, and you get paid a separate amount of money, less money. So Buchwald battled for months to make sure that if ever the pilot was an hour, I would get paid double. And I called him up and I go, no one's ever run a half-hour pilot. I mean,
a full hour, yeah.
Well, they fought fine and they gave it to us. They ran a full-hour pilot. We shot so much material the first night when CBS looked at it, they liked it so much, they go, let's run a half hour, let's run a 1 hour pilot, okay?
What, did he just get lucky, or was this starting to be
no, that's what he,
and he knew
no, that's what he does. That's XM and Sirius could never merge, ever, by Congress, by law. He fought to get millions of dollars paid to Howard if they merged. He did. So even though there was a lawsuit and all that, there still was millions of dollars paid to him, and they kept saying, well, we can never merge. It'll never happen.
Are there other things in the contract that didn't happen, but in case they did, we got it?
Yeah, like what do you own? What material do you own? They battle over how it's owned. Some people, you can lose your job, they can fire you, and you still can't work for a year because they own your name or some shit.
Yeah.
And you'll look at the So anyway, I go back to work after the pilot runs, and every character, Annie Potts, or no, that time Susan Day, everybody on the set was fucking livid, because it said the pilot only paid X. I was the only one who paid 2X. Oh, I know. Here, mouth shut. I want to. Shit.
But like, in the end, how much was that? Like an extra $20,000?
Yeah, but double the money.
Yeah.
Right. Double the money. They got 20. I got 40. Here's another one he put in there. No person on the cast could make $1 more than me. I had to make exactly what the other star made. So I come in, they pay Susan Day and I the same amount of money, right?
No.
Annie Potts is coming off a huge hit show. She's coming off of Designing Women.
Yeah.
They replace Susan Day with Annie Potts. Annie Potts gets $40,000 an episode. So do I.
Ka-ching. You don't get 40,001?
No, whatever. No. But I got exactly what she got. And by the way, I couldn't wait to meet her when she came on the set. They were fucking purple. They were the cheapest bastards. These people, the reason why they canceled Love and War, some people remember it, had nothing to do with ratings. The ratings were just fine. And we were the version of Paul Reiser and Helen Hunt.
Yeah, Mad About You.
Yeah, we were that version for CBS, which is fine. You know, you clean up, you pick up the second level, right?
Yeah.
We were doing great. They hated the producers of the show who had done Murphy Brown. They were so cheap that normally the craft services, which Christina talks about, is a union job. Some man or some woman, they cook food for you during the day. They have chips, they have apples, they have, a full kitchen waiting for you. And that job paid maybe $1,000 a week. And I mean, it was like a long day, cooking and cleaning in this kitchen. They made it non-union. They went non-union, and they gave the guy $400. That was his salary and the food. So it was horrible. It was awful. So Susan Day and I put up another couple $100 a piece and shamed them. And one time the food had been laid out all day on the set, a pretend eating thing. And this fucking producer woman's husband, who was a complete zero, he tried to serve us that food for the after party. Been there all day. What? It was it's crazy. Fucking nuts. Yeah, nuts. CBS finally got sick of him. Sick of both of them. And cheap. I mean, when I say cheap, I mean, if an actor was really good, but they wanted the extra $100, I mean $100, they wouldn't pay it. So finally CBS said, fuck you, and got rid of them. And we'll never let you rerun Love and War ever. Ever. It'll never rerun. If it does, you owe us $50 million. And they never reran, which hurt all of us, right? I hated them. Then CBS was nervous. And they hired him for the new Ted Danson show called Inc. With his wife, Steenburgen. Mm-hmm. And they just had to do it. Well, she brings fucking Jay Thomas back. Good old Jay Thomas comes back. Fucking 6 episodes later. See you later. Goodbye. See you fucking later. Yeah. And that was it. I don't think she did another show after that. Cheaper than shit.
Now, when they hired Susan Day, did they forget your contract said you had to make the most?
No.
Oh, they knew that going on.
No, this stuff is battled for. It's battled for. I mean, it'll hold the damn contract up. They threaten you. I'm not going to sign it. We're not going to pay him that. It's scary as shit. And I'm about to star in a TV show. I was really excited. I mean, and oh, come on, come on. I want to do that show, and then, here's the other thing. Once the network comes in and decides to pay the producers more money, all the contracts are null and void. So that's how you make more money. But you're signed for 5 to 7 years, and it's up to them every 13 weeks to renew you. Same thing with the college, NCAA. A full ride is still 1 year renewable.
Yeah.
So let's say you start first string, you blow your knee, you can't play again. They can drop you and your by the way, did you see the kid break his leg for Louisville, and the bone came sticking out?
I saw the first far away shot, and I can never make it to the end of the video.
They didn't replay it on TV. It's only on the internet now, right?
Yeah.
And he did it when he was going over to complain that the guy's toe was over the 3-point line. So he went over, and it must just be a brittle point of a bone, because he was kind of just going, hey, no, jumping over there by the ref, right? I mean, which was a dumb thing to do, but he really wasn't doing anything crazy. And the coach, Rick Pitino, has had, Christina, the worst eye job it looks like someone set his hairdryer on stun. He's just like, he has this terrible eye job, and he talks like Joe Pesci also, Garrett.
Really?
So he talking like this, I went over there, and, I knew he was hurting, and then, oh, whoa, when I saw the bone, I almost puked. That's what he said. Almost vomited.
I agree, though. I mean, you saw his leg just dangling at a right angle in the middle of his chin.
Horrible. Now, he's given his life to Louisville. He may never be able to play again, ever. And he can't sue the NCAA and get workman's compensation.
Nope.
Because years ago, they invented a legal term, and the legal term that they invented sounds like something you would normally say, but it's a legal term that was invented by the NCAA so that students who play sports could not sue them for workman's comp. And that term is student athlete.
Yeah.
They invented it. I didn't know that. I always thought it was, like a normal kind of a thing. I don't know. A little while, we'll speak to a guy from Sugar Hill, Georgia. They've been offered $7 million if they change the name of the town to Sugar Daddy.
Not just the name, also like the major sports arenas, the post office, and other.
Forever?
Sugar Daddy.
10 years.
Sugar Daddy. Now, wait a minute. Doesn't Noel Biederman own Sugar Daddy? Does he own that? We've had that guy on, or somebody. I know we've had Noel on, but
I went to the party.
That's seeking arrangements.
.com, yeah.
Yeah, that's different.
But I think that guy owns Sugar Daddy, too.
Maybe.
Yeah. So now they've upped it to, I'm reading here, $7.75 million.
Yeah, it started at 3 3/4, and now it's up to 7 3/4.
And then the mayor has a counteroffer, so we'll speak to Gary Perkle. Perkle's a big name in the South. There was a DJ at WNOX in Knoxville, and I was at WKGN, and his name, Gary Perkle, I don't know what his first name was, and he was the #1 night jock, but it was because they had a big signal, and they just played, 20 records in a row. Hi, this is Gary Perkle. How are you? Playing 10 in a row. That's all he would do. And he would pack them in at the fucking appearances. It drove me nuts. I'm telling jokes. I'm blowing fucking whistles. Sound effects. Theater of the mind. Fucking Jerry fucking Perkle packing them in. At the Piggly Wiggly. Not me. Not me, of course. How about... Wait a minute, let me get them here. Cool moms, like a ton of them. A ton of cool moms.
Really?
Yep, a ton of cool moms.
Wow.
A bunch of, yeah.
Let's get
Whole
crazy.
Whole bunch of cool moms. Wait till you hear these, Christina. These are big. These are the biggest cool moms we've ever. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cool moms. Okay, boom. I love, what is this? I love it. Cool moms. Cool moms. Cool moms. Cool mom number 1. Katie Holmes, the mother of Suri Cruz.
Cool moms.
When the daddy wants to see him, he has a $50 million jet that he has been forced to make kid-friendly so she can enjoy her trip to see her daddy, according to the divorce decree. And little Suri Cruz is so fashionable that besides living,
cool mom
in her Cinderella castle suite, okay, she gets to go to Disneyland with no other children around, by the way, okay? She was seen wearing a Dolce & Gabbana $2,000 trench coat the other day, okay?
Cool
all right.
moms.
I've seen her mom naked.
Valentina Paloma Pinault. Her mother is Selma Hayek. She's married to Francois-Henri Pinault, who is a CEO of a luxury goods company. They just bought their little daughter, Valentina, a $12 million estate that will be held in trust for her. For when she's 18, she can move into her own estate.
Mom.
Let's go maybe
Give me the trust.
Juanita Combs. Is that what Puffy Combs' wife's name is? I don't know. They have a son called Justin. He was just gifted with a $360,000 Maybach Mercedes, whatever it is. His dad gave him that. His mom gave him that for the 16th. But guess what, Garrett? He's on a full scholarship football, UCLA.
Hey, mom.
Yeah. Blue Ivy Carter. Blue Ivy Carter. Who's her mom?
Beyonce.
When Blue Ivy goes to the bathroom, she sits on a $4,000 diamond-encrusted toilet. She gets into a $5,000 crystal-encrusted bathtub.
Even at a Nets game?
And she gets into the Swarovski crystal. She takes naps in a $3,500 crib. Wow. And finally, for a little Puerto Rican girl, Jennifer Lopez has done quite well. She's got little Emma Anthony decked out in $5,000 worth of Chanel outfits.
Cool, Mom.
And she sits in the front row of every Fashion Week show, including Paris, Rome, and New York. Wow. She was seen with a $2,400 Chanel, I don't know what that would be, a wardrobe, a $300 brooch, and a $2,100 bag with her name embroidered on the side. Wow.
Cool mom.
Those are cool moms and one cool dad in there, okay? All right. Stay where you are.
Cool mom.
Jay Thomas.
The Jay Thomas Show.
It's the afternoon show.
It'd be funny, too.
That was a good one. Say it twice. It'll be funnier.
The Jay Thomas Show.
Indy. Sirius XM 104.
I tell you what, these naughty websites, one of them tried to get the Jets, didn't they, Garrett, to name it?
Madison Stadium, yep.
Ashley Madison Stadium, and he's an advertiser here. I think maybe Sugar Daddy might be also. But let's go now to Sugar Hill, Georgia, where Gary Perkle is the very sensible mayor. Gary, welcome to the Jay Thomas Show. How are you?
Hey, Jay, I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Good. How many people do you lord over in Sugar Hill? I would consider myself the lord. Once they elected me, I'd be a different person. I can tell you that, Gary. I'd be like a dictator. But how many folks live there in lovely Sugar Hill?
We've got about 18,000 residents.
Right. And a conservative town, would you say?
For the most part, yes.
Yeah. So how did you get the offer to change the name of the town for millions of dollars to sugardaddy.com? How did was it a phone call, an email? How'd you get the message?
Well, actually, the first I heard about it was the reporters calling City Hall, and apparently the news sites got a hold of it before me. I was emailed the offer at, I think it was about 6 o'clock on Sunday evening. I didn't see it at that time.
Right.
And the newspapers were sent at about the same time, and some of the TV channels came out and had interviewed a few people. I started getting some calls Monday morning. I asked my city manager if he knew anything about it, and he didn't. I said, well, I better go back and check my emails. And they had sent me one Sunday evening, either simultaneously or only minutes before they sent to the news. So, we knew pretty much right up front it was a publicity stunt.
Right. But did anybody ever really contact you? And I've read that they moved it from $3.75 million to $7.75 million. Is that true?
Yeah, that's correct. When we first
Wow.
saw the offer and started reading what was in it, I didn't think they actually had any intention of spending any money. They just wanted the publicity out of it. So,
yeah.
We thought, we're going to be the ones getting all the calls and everything about it, so we might as well have a little fun with it.
What were some of the things in it that obviously we were just talking about contracts a minute ago? People always glom these things into a contract, and if you don't read them carefully, you'll get the original thing you wanted, but there's all kind of other junk in there. Give me a couple of things that the sugardaddy.com wanted.
So obviously they wanted the name changed to sugardaddy.com, and that's a little cumbersome when you're filling out your envelopes and that sort of thing. So we figured most residents wouldn't be too fond of that. But they also wanted us to change all the street signs, change the park names, and those sort of things. So you'd be racking up a little bit of expense there. They wanted a 10-year term on it, and then they also...
Oh, no, wait a minute. What sort of... Would they want like Adultery Avenue? Would they want you to change the names of the main? Would they want like Naughty Girl Drive? I mean, what would they want the signs to say?
I think all the signs, if you had your city emblem or logo, for instance, we've got some nice big marquee signs when you enter the city. They wanted all those changed, all the street signs, the park names. I assume Sugar Daddy is what they would want on there. They didn't list the specifics. But the other thing that let us know right away they weren't really serious was they said they wanted a statue of Hugh Hefner or someone that would reflect their lifestyle to be put up next to City Hall. So,
no, you're a pretty smart guy. Didn't you offer them another idea for a statue?
Well, yeah, we went back and forth a couple times. The first thing we went back with and trying to, be a little bit funny and pretend to be a little bit naive, we said, well, we're not interested in renaming the city because we've got our 75th year anniversary coming up the next year, so we're committed to keeping the name for at least one more year, but we would make Sugar Daddy our official city candy bar for $2 million.
Sugar Daddy, your official candy bar. And what statue did you want to put up?
Well, after we went back and did a little bit of negotiating with them, all somewhat in good fun, we said, well, one of the stories about how the city got its name is from the gold mines that were operated in the area in the 1700s and 1800s. So we said, well, we've got a history of gold diggers. You've got a website for gold diggers. Maybe there could be some common ground there.
That's pretty funny. Did they like that one?
They chuckled a little bit. They said they'd take that back to the management. The other thing was when they came back and said they would increase the value to $8 million. We said, well, again, we're committed to keeping the name, but for $1 million for 1 year, I would change my title from mayor to Sugar Daddy.
So for $1 million that would go into the city's coffers, or you could get it yourself and give it to the city, you would call yourself Sugar Daddy.
I thought it'd be a humorous thing to do.
It is. Now, what'd they say to that?
Well, same thing with the statue. They said they'd take it back to their people, but we haven't heard anything back on that.
Good God.
But, just kind of a little fun thing to play around with there. We didn't think they had any intention of spending any money to begin with. And again, it's not something we would have seriously considered changing the name on, but since we kind of got brought into their little PR whirlwind without being asked, we felt, well, you can either get mad about it or have fun with it. So we tried to have a little fun with it.
Well, what these sugar daddies do, Christina, who works here, you went to one of their parties. We sent her as an undercover, woman, who would never do anything untoward. What was that group like? Let's say Gary had taken the $8 million and it was sugardaddy.com, Georgia. What sort of individuals did you meet at that party, Christina?
I met certain men that wanted desperately to read me stories.
In a baby doll outfit, some sort of.
Well, yeah, they wanted me in some sort of a young baby doll outfit while they read me tales such as Alice in Wonderland, and Sleeping Beauty. They pointed those out
Gary,
specifically.
That's creepy.
Mm-hmm.
That's really creepy stuff.
Yeah, probably not something our citizens want to be associated with.
But now let's just say
it got creepier,
Well, you got creepier? What else?
Well, yeah, I mean, there was a lot of offerings of me doing various acts for them for compensation.
For these handsome young guys, handsome good guys.
No, there was not one. There was one older gentleman there that I would say, well, he's handsome like, Harrison Ford is handsome. But that doesn't mean that as a 30-year-old I would want to.
Were there any sugar daddies there? The candy?
No.
You would think that those would be scattered off on the tables. I know.
Just to keep the vibe.
You know what, Mayor Gary Perkle of Sugar Hill? That's a bad group to have a town named after. That's a sleazy. That's too bad. So now, will they you don't think they'll come back with the $1 million, huh, for you?
No, I don't think so. I think they'll let it die down a little bit and pick on the next town.
Yeah, they've already talked to Sugarland, Texas,
right?
And they've called Woodside, California.
Right, and that's one of the things we sent back after their initial request. They said, or after our response back where we talked about the candy bar, they said, well, they wanted to come out in person to negotiate. And I said, well, you've offered these other cities $12 million. We're worth at least as much as Texas and California. So that's when they upped their offer. But
no telling what they were going to turn. No telling what they're going to turn Woodside, California into. Okay.
Rather not speculating.
No, that sounds awful. Awful. Well, Mayor Perkle, thank you very much. Did you ever have a relative that was an old DJ in Knoxville, Tennessee?
I'm not aware of if I did, but it was like
okay.
Perkle. I'm sure we're related somewhere.
Well, I went against this guy. I've been looking for him ever since. All right, well, that's good. Gary Perkle, the mayor of Sugar Hill, Georgia, offered to change his own name to Sugar Daddy for $1 million. They wanted Sugar Daddy.
The title.
Just the title, yeah.
Oh, just the title. Oh, you'd still be Gary Perkle.
Sugar Daddy, Gary Perkle.
But Sugar Daddy, I got you. That's good. I like that. And then they wanted to put a statue up of Hugh Hefner. You offered him a gold digger. I thought that's a great one. All right, Gary, thank you very much. Gary Perkle, mayor of Sugar Hill. Thank you, Sugar Daddy. Thank you so much. Wow.
Wait, hold on. If I change my name, people would pay me for that? It can be ridiculous, and that only
Why
for
don't you
a
do
year or something?
How about the guy we had on that put the tattoos on his face?
I don't want to put tattoos on my face.
Well,
but I don't
they want some
permanent.
Well, they want some. Well, yeah, you're on the radio, and if you legally changed your name, and we had to start calling you SugarDaddy.com,
you'd be fired.
I'd be laughing all the way to the bank.
You'd be fired. How long will we call you SugarDaddy.com? It would be so annoying.
It would be my name. You'd have to get used to it.
Sirius would say Plugola, and you'd be like, hey, it's my name.
Wait a minute. If that's your legal name, I'm not sure they could do anything. I'm willing to try it.
I'm willing to try it too, as long as I see the benefits of this.
I want 10%.
Why would
hey,
you
Garrett,
get 10%?
how about this?
It's not your idea at all.
I booked the
How about Trojan.com? You change your name to Trojan.com.
Oh, imagine if it was like moist.com
that's
or something.
The worst.
No. Hi, I'm moisttowelettes.com.
Moistunderbelly.com. Kill myself, why don't I?
Man. Yeah, I mean, if they paid the company and they paid you, I think the company would go for it.
This is worth looking
But
into.
I see what you're saying. If it's her name, the company can't fire her for having a name.
What can they do?
Nothing.
What can they do?
This is totally worth looking into. Yeah. I could get rich.
The networks said they did not want to show the broken bone of the kid Ware in the basketball game, and yet their phone lines, Twitter and Facebook, people were demanding to see it. They wanted to see it again.
Yeah, and the sports blogs kind of split down the middle of who showed it and who didn't.
Yeah,
Isn't that kind of what happened when Saddam Hussein was murdered too?
That was cell phone video, right?
Yeah, but remember people were desperate on the internet to see
they also wanted to see Osama bin Laden dead, too. They wanted to see that one.
They made a movie of that.
Now, is that a good movie, that dark something?
It's really Zero Dark 30. It's really disturbing. I've never seen somebody get waterboarded before, and now, sometimes when I close my eyes, I still see it.
Really?
Boy, it kind of really hit a nerve with me.
Well, I guess it works, doesn't it, Garrett?
Remember when Man-Cow tried it?
No.
I neti potted myself once. I'll never do it again.
Man-Cow was all saying how it's not bad, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I'll do it on my show. And they did like one drop. And he was like, oh, stop, forget it, okay? And he totally changed his mind. He's like, get me up. And he flipped out.
I would sing like a canary.
Man-Cow. And he's not talented enough to be pretending.
No.
Well, I'm sure glad that those movies are out now, because they just showed, after our 10-year war, Iraq and Iran are now full and complete allies. And Iran is now sending all sorts of money to Iraq, and John Kerry flew over and said, come on, guys, you're letting the Iranian airplanes go through Iraqi airspace to supply Assad, the dictator in Syria. Would you stop it? No, we're not stopping it. We're not stopping it. So I got 2 words: mission accomplished.
They're allies together or with us?
No, Iraq and Iran hated each other. They had a 10-year war. Saddam Hussein, we gave him all kind of fucking money to fight him and everything else. We gave the Mujahideen, all the money to fight, the Russians and everything else. And at the end of the day, Iran and Iraq we did what Iran originally wanted. Yep. So now they're there. And in Iraq, this guy is now demanding that we get the fuck out of there. I mean, like sooner, if not, what's that term?
Sooner rather than later?
Yeah, something like that. Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. And, I mean, come on.
We're still there? I thought we got out.
No, hell no. We got my nephew who goes to boot camp in June. He's, one of the things is they're shipping you out to get people out of there, and maybe you'll be loading trucks or whatever. We've got, hundreds of thousands of pieces of equipment. Usually we just leave shit behind.
Yeah.
Like in Vietnam, that's why, what's the great race got in trouble because one of the
race,
you turn left at the down to B-52 bomber where the 2 American or the 5 Americans died. You turn left there, they got in all kind of trouble.
I think they shot. That was the background for the whole episode, like where the host stands and stuff.
Ridiculous,
but it's a monument in their country.
Yeah, to beating the piss out of us, to killing us. That's nice. Yeah, it's real nice. Why don't we have one why don't they go and you turn left at Auschwitz? How about that one? Go to Buchenwald, Yeah. You know what? One of the clues, it's in the oven. How about that? Very good one. Yeah.
Oh my God.
But they won the war and they're proud of it.
The key?
They fought off the great America.
Yeah, well, the Americans didn't like it. And guys died in that thing. It isn't like, the plane crashed and they became Hogan's heroes. Fucking idiots. Fucking numbskulls. Joe of Kentucky, it's Jay Thomas. Yes, sir, Joe, go ahead. Joe of Kentucky.
Hey, how's it going, Jay?
Would you change your name for $1 million to IEatDick.com?
Good question.
Well, sure I would.
There you go. Just checking. Not everybody's like the mayor. Okay, just checking. Your real name would still be Joe, but your title would be IEatDick.com.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have $1 million in the bank.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, they did replay that guy getting his leg broke in that game because that's the only way I saw it.
Ugh! Wow.
I mean, she said that it wasn't replayed, but it was, and
What network replayed it? Did ESPN do it?
CBS.
No, what they were on CBS.
Yeah, but they're not talking about during the game. They're talking about right after or ESPN highlights.
Right after it happened, they showed it.
Yeah, right after it happened, but not like at the end of the game or during a sports center
or during the news. They didn't do it during the news last night.
Right, exactly.
You know what they should have done? We interrupt 60 Minutes to show you this piece of tape. Now back to 60 Minutes already in progress. Yeah. If I was programming CBS, are you kidding? I'd have put that fucking thing on a loop.
Oh, I would have told it 10 times over saying, check out that bone coming out of that guy's leg.
I couldn't watch it.
No, I would have actually put an arrow on the screen pointing to the bone.
Slow-mo and then the zoom in and everything.
Yeah, you see that. Joe, you and I ought to be programming CBS. We ought to give them a call tomorrow. All right, stay where you are. We'll be right back.
The Jay Thomas Show.
Afternoons. Indy. Sirius XM 104.
So we're on break. I was checking my emails, and I get an email from the vice president of reality programming at NBC, Christina, where you and I had done a pilot, right? Mm-hmm. Haven't heard from this guy in almost a year. So I open it up. Hey, man, how you doing? Hey, I think you have one of our flip cameras. Can you send it back?
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, they gave us a little flip cam, and I, put it in my suitcase or whatever and brought it back home. And yeah, that's what he wanted. Hope you're doing well. That's it.
How much is that? $200?
Probably.
Should have gave it to us as a consolation prize.
Yeah, wants it back. By the way, what an exciting thing for Wichita State to get into the Final Four. That's a big deal. My favorite name, Clean Anthony Early, is their big player.
Nice.
Clean Anthony. Maybe it's Clee Anthony. It's C-L-E, yeah. Clee Anthony. That's when the mother's name is Cleo, and the dad's name is Anthony, and you become Clee Anthony. Like, what's your dad's name, Garrett? Your dad's first name?
Jerry.
What's your mom's first name?
Victoria.
You'd be Vajeri.
Wow.
You'd be Vajeri. Vajeri.
Calm down.
Andrews.
It's not vagina. Relax.
Wait a minute. But that was so easy for me. Vajeri.
What a great talent you have for combining names.
Christina.
This never happens, especially in Hollywood.
I'm so excited right now. What's your mom's name?
Anna.
And what's your dad's name?
Alex.
And Alex. And?
Brilliant.
And Alex.
How do you do it?
You know what's
we
funny?
should charge money for this.
I almost feel like I'm a black woman with a 6'7" son. Okay?
Hit the jackpot?
Hit the jackpot right now. Because that's how they name their kids. They become stars. Like, my dad was Harry, and my mother was Kathy. So what would it be? Who would I be? Harry and Kathy. Who would I be?
Oh.
Cathari.
Cathari?
Tell me my name. Cathari Thomas. You see? You know what's funny? You made fun of me, then you couldn't do it. I'm really shocked because I thought, well, yeah, if I could do it, anybody can do it.
Well, Carrie was just too ordinary, and that's what
Cathari. No. Cathari. No, it's got to have... I'm so fucking good at it, it's unbelievable. I could be a guy that names kids, white and black, that become famous athletes. You know, like Javon. I'm over Javon.
Yeah.
The mother's name is like June, and the dad's or her name is Yvonne. The guy's name is Joe. So it's Javon. Watch this. Is that guy Todd on line one? Put him on. I don't care what he wants to say. Put him on hold. Put him on hold. Here we go. Todd.
Yeah.
What's your mom's first name?
My mom's first name is Annette.
Annette, okay. And what's your dad's first name?
Sam.
What is it?
Sam. D-A-N-C-E.
Dance?
Yeah.
Your dad's name is Dance? Hold on a minute. No. Wow, hold on.
Lance, maybe Lance?
Or Dan, with a D like dog?
D like Dan.
Bance?
I told you, your connection is terrible.
Bance.
Give me 2 seconds. I'll take
Wait a minute. B like boy? Bance?
B like Violet.
Vance.
Oh, Vance. Okay, hold it. Well, I got this. Hold on. Annette and Vance. Well, the Vance name, you know what your name would? No. Advance. Advance. It sounds like he's advancing. He'd be advance. Oh, man, I'm good at this. I'm so good at this now. If you're pregnant right now and you think you might have a professional or a college athlete in your stomach, call me and I'll put these two names together of the husband and of the wife. By the way, same-sex couples, welcome.
Hey, I know the Burkle DJ you were talking about.
All right, hold on. We'll talk about that in a moment.
The Jay Thomas Show. For idiots, by idiots. Non-stop idiot action. The Jay Thomas Show. He's the afternoon guy. On Indy. Sirius XM 104. And on the Sirius XM app for smartphones. Indy.
Brickishaw what?
Ferguson.
Now, you see, you can also do this in case you don't know who the daddy is. It was either Don Brick or Shaw, the Brickishaw. You know what I mean? You can always do, not that that's happened to him. I'm just... How big is he? 330 or something like that? I wouldn't want him to. I wouldn't even want him to call me on the phone. You know what I mean? Hello? Yeah. The Brickishaw Ferguson. That's it. Shit, piss, as if I'm being crucified. Everything would be coming out of me. Right on the floor, just to hear his voice on the phone. Let's go back to Todd of Tennessee, who seems to know a really boring DJ who played records a little faster than they should have been played, maybe 48 RPMs back when we had records and all that stuff. And then even with the Doesn't Z100 play they play the CDs faster and shit? Don't they do that?
Yeah, they speed them up like a half a...
Scumbags!
I don't know what it is.
Yes, Todd, what was the DJ's name? What was his name?
Jay, his name was John Perkle. And
Johnny Perkle. Yeah,
I
Johnny
think he
Perkle.
went by Brother John or some silly shit. And
He went by Leather Job, but he didn't say one word on the air. He just read a card and played like 20 in a row. Had this huge signal.
he had a boogie check every night at 10 o'clock or something. It was
You had a what? You had a what at 10 o'clock? A what?
A boogie check. It's like a shout out. You call in and say, "Hey, this is Mike from Oak Ridge High School." Like at 10 o'clock at night or something.
God damn it, that's what I should have done. I should have had a boogie check, Garrett.
That was it. You've been a huge star. You've been Pat Summit status.
I was on WKGN. I picked the worst signals in town. I mean, me.
I don't even know that signal.
No, thank you. Nobody knows it. Nobody knows.
25 years. Listen.
I worked in Jacksonville, Florida at night. Signal was so weak at night, I couldn't hear the station at the station. We did not get, I'm not joking. We had to. Yeah, unbelievable. All right. Thank you very much, Todd. I was just saying what I went through so that one day Garrett and Christina could work here. I didn't even know I was going to meet you two, but the horrible towns I lived in, the terrible signals I had. Knoxville, Tennessee, maybe it's a nice place now. It's one of the worst places I ever was in my life. It was dank, dark. Oh, my God. It was, went to University of Tennessee, and you could always tell a woman from UT because they had these big calves from walking up these big hills. Yeah. Let's go to Toby, who is in Michigan. Yes, Toby, go ahead.
Yeah, here's the name. My parents, Toby and Lisa.
Oh, you're already named for your dad.
Correct.
Well, now you're a man. I got Lisa in there. Oh, they would call you Latobi.
Oh.
That's all. They add the L. You'd be Latobi. Because you can't have the woman's name in there.
Hey,
or they might do L-I. They might do, how about this? They might do L-I-S and think it's French and call you Latobi. Latobi.
Hey, another quick one, Jay. Why do you always enunciate your K's, the hard K's?
Very fun. K is very funny.
Oh, okay.
K is a very funny letter. Look it up.
All right.
Type, Google why is K funny? Yep. Woody Allen does the same thing at the end of his K. He always does that. And so I decided to lick like that. That's how he talks. The boy came up to me and he said, "I'd like to kick a Jew." Okay? That's what he does. All right. Thank you, Toby. Let's go to Tom in Boston. Yes, Tom, if you were going to be a college or professional athlete and your parents wanted to give you one of these double names, what's your mom's first name?
Nicole.
Nicole?
Nicole, and my father's name is Roger.
Wow. Now, Nicole kind of is very feminine. Rick Hole.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like Rick Hole. Your name would be Rick Hole. I love it, Garrett. Thank you.
I don't know. I think since I'm a basketball player, wouldn't it be Nick Kerr?
All right, get rid of him. Let's get rid of him. I'm sure Nicole and Roger are proud of their fucking racist son.
I don't think that's their names.
You don't think so?
No.
You made that up?
Yeah.
You think you fooled me?
I don't think he's a basketball player either.
Nope, I just think he's a racist.
Yeah. Unbelievable. And you know what's sad? He's getting a big laugh out of it right now. Okay? Big laugh. But here's what's sad. He's hurt others. Remember in class I did this to you? You haven't just hurt yourself today. You've hurt others. Teachers give the stupidest fucking advice. No one cares. They thought it was funny. The guy's a fucking asshole. I saw the Florida coach giving a halftime speech or talking to his coaches, and he's got this weird haircut, this weird kind of razor cut in the front. And he sounds like, and here's a young guy, maybe he's in his 40s, right? And he's making the coaches recite stuff after he says it. These are grown men, not players. All right, so men, when we're talking to the boys, what is it we want them to really do? And together, focus. I swear to God, that was awful. I'm looking at it going, are you kidding? What is it, 1952 and you're Newt fucking Rockney? What are we talking about? You know, I would say to kids, if I was coaching high school or college, I would say, let me tell you something about tonight's game. Look around the room. You see the coaches, see the coaching staff. You've been to our homes. You've met our children. You've met our wives. You know how hard we work. We're here night and day. You guys come in, you practice, and you play the game. If you lose the game tonight, and if you continue losing and we don't go very deep into the playoffs, you're going to cost us our jobs. I make a living doing this. That's what I do for a living. I don't have a little Susie Q waiting for me, you know, at the gym door when it's all over. Nick's kid is autistic. Mike's wife is an alcoholic.
Wow, you're really laying it on thick.
Jimmy's got 6 kids because he's he's a Mormon. He can't stop having children. It's against God's laws. We lose our jobs. I lose my job. Their jobs are gone also. So when you take the court tonight, you're not just playing for state. You're playing for the state of our livelihoods. You want to pretend that it's all fun and games. I know a lot of you want to go to the NBA. Great. You can help your poor mother. So you must know who's poor here. I don't. I have no idea. I visited your homes. They all looked horrifying to me.
Okay. You're so rich.
Well, no, I'm better off than they are.
Yeah.
So you know whose mama needs to be helped. You know whose family needs to be helped. Play for them so that they can go to the NBA. So make it about money, boys. Focus and make it about money and our livelihoods so that we can keep eating. Jim's child can get the medical help that she needs. The wife can get, sent to, what does that cost? Like $30,000 a month to get somebody off of booze. Okay.
Oh,
and then
Betty Ford clinic thing?
Yeah, something like that. God forbid Neil, wants to have another child. Okay. All right, man, put it in.
No pressure.
On one. One. Thank God. That's what I do. Now, that isn't pressure.
That's a little pressure.
No, here's what they say to them. All right, now listen, man, we've worked hard. We've gotten here with sweat and work and hard, and now it's up to you to step up. I heard a guy say this over the weekend. It's up to you to step up. We're not going to be out there with you. When you make a pick, make it clean. When you go into the lane, be cognizant of the time you're in the paint. And make sure you've got a shot. And I'm thinking, what? What? Come on. Stop it. No, Roger. Latobi. Let's go to Jerry, who's in Missouri. Yes, Jerry, it's Jay Thomas. Yes, sir.
Hey, Jay, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Hey, good. Hey, listen, I am, you just gave me a great idea, I'll be honest with you.
Sure.
I'm covered with tattoos, to be honest with you. I got them all over my arms. I'm a collector of them, so to speak. My best friend has his shop back where I live. And
now, does it hurt you getting, because you sound like a really nice guy, does it hurt you getting a job because of the tattoos?
Oh, no, I'm a truck driver, so who gives a shit?
No one cares. And you stick your arm out, and it's
and I look bad as hell. The girls, you wouldn't believe the girls that get a reaction just from my sleeves full of laying out there. You damn right.
Because you're bad. Because you're bad. Bad boy. You're a bad boy.
Anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I have a spot on my arm that I've been looking to put some block lettering on, okay, just to fill it in because I have a perfect spot for it. If the name that you come up with my mother and my father, I promise you I'll put it on and I'll take a picture of it.
Well, now, come on now. You know what? Doggone it. I'm blushing right now. I take this very serious because this will be permanent. What is your dad's name?
My dad's name is Charles.
All right, Garrett and Christina, you'll have to help me. Okay.
Put a lot of thought into this, please, because this is permanent. I promise you I'll do it.
No, I know. I'm taking this as seriously as I took the young hand farter earlier today.
I didn't hear it, but I'm sure he was very sick.
Well, boy, go on demand later. Make sure you re-listen to the little 7-year-old hand farter came on and met his idol, a 50-year-old hand farter.
Nice.
And then what's your mother's name?
I'm sorry?
Your mother.
My mother's name is Darlene.
Charlene.
Oh, my God. No, wait a minute. No, that's not right.
Darls.
No. Yeah, hold on. You know what, Garrett? Hold on.
I'm so good.
No, you're not good yet. First of all.
Isn't he the worst when he figures something out and then he just gets on his soapbox?
You mean Garrett?
Yes.
Worst. Yeah, no. Oh, no, it's a cry for look at me.
Yep.
Hold on.
What are you going to come up with?
Give me a fucking minute. It's going to be tattooed on the man's arm, for God's sakes. I'm not just going to throw out something. First of all, Charlene is a girl's name, not a big, mean guy with it's as if he were named the two names. And a tribute to his mother and father at the same time. Am I correct in that, Christina?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Charles and Darlene. This could take a while. You might have to listen off the air. Hold on. What did you say first? You said Charlene.
Darls.
What was this? Now, Darls. D-A-R-L-E-S.
Or Charlene.
Not Charlene. Stop saying that. Let me think if I can think of something better. Hold on. Charles.
There's only two ways to go.
You know what, Garrett? While I'm thinking, I don't need to hear
Darls or Charlene. That's all there is.
D-A-R-L-E. I like Darls very much. Darls. I vote for Darls also.
What about something with, since there's the D, you could have something with an apostrophe in it.
You know, that's
like
been
the Arls.
No, that's no good. What I like about this, what's your name? My name is Darls. Like that. It's one name. I like it. Darls. Not Charles, no Darls. My mother's Darlene, my dad's Charles. They named me Darls. And it's both names perfectly done. You've done a very good job.
Thank you.
Let's go back to Jerry on line one. Jerry, D-A-R-L-E-S, Darls. It's Darlene and Charles.
Okay. Spell it one more time, Jay. I'm sorry.
D is in dog.
Yes.
A is in apple.
Okay.
R is in Roger.
Okay.
L is in Listerine.
Okay.
E is in emphysema.
Okay.
S as in
stupid idea.
Stupid. Now, what I love about it is it's your mom's name and your dad's name perfectly matched. Darls. I love it.
And please send us pictures.
Let me ask you something now. Now, do you think is that make fun of proof? I mean, look at that.
No one's going to make fun of it. No one's going to make fun of it. No, it's what you could have been named, and it can be put in that space because it's only 6 letters, and it's a tribute to your mother and father, and it's a masculine sounding name. Yeah. What's your name? Darls.
Oh, no,
not you. If your name, and you may want to name a child that at some point.
No, that ain't happening.
Really?
I
like it.
I actually named my kid Symphony, which I get a lot of compliments on that one. And then
I was going to say, ask for Symphony, Garrett. I almost said that, and I wondered. I'm like a psychic today, also. Ask for Symphony. All right. Thank you very much, Jerry.
Hey, I want to take a picture of this, Jay, and I want to send it to you. I promise.
I want to see it. All right. Thank you. All right. I'd also like a picture of his daughter with a violin bow in her mouth, as if she's playing her own teeth.
Wow.
Let's go to Fred, who's in Baltimore. Yes, Fred, go ahead. Never let it be said I don't use a good idea.
I'm a big fan of the show. My mother's name just recently passed. So
I got a special pad. For my writing now. Go ahead.
Okay, my mother's name was Geraldine. My father's name is Nicholas.
Geraldine and You know what I like, Garrett? Nicotine. I like nicotine. That's what I like. Your name ought to be Nicodine. Nicotine.
Well, he's Nick. She's Geraldine. Wouldn't that also be Nick Gurr?
All right, get rid of him, please. Get rid of him.
He's a crafty one, that racist
So many
bastard.
people want to be called that for their first name.
Nicotine is good, though. Let's go to George of Louisiana, and let me say right now, hold on to your hat. Hold on to your hat, okay? Yes, George, go ahead.
How you doing, my good friend?
I'm fine, George. Go ahead.
I know you are. Boy, your show has really changed.
What do you mean? How's it changed?
Well, from 5 years ago
Yeah.
to now, it's different. I'm not saying it's not bad. I'm not saying it's not bad. But,
is it slower, faster? What is it? Or a speed thing? What do you think it is?
well, it's a little slower.
It's slower. Garrett, you think it's slower than 5 years ago? Slower, huh? Yeah, slower. More conversational?
Well, I love the conversational, but...
Well, 5 years ago, you had a co-host every show, too.
Oh, yeah.
There was
Had Rodney in here with me? That's right.
Or-
Well, George, you know what? If you don't know what the difference is, I don't care what it is. Go ahead, George. What can we do for it? Yeah.
Look, I got...
What hasn't changed is my fucking aggravation level, okay? So let's get to it. Here we go.
That's why I love you. Look, I got 3 stories, but I want to give you one. I want you to pick which one you want to hear.
You're going to give me 3-story headlines.
Yes.
All right. Christina, I'm going to have you pick them. No, let Christina pick them. All right, listen up, Christina. This will make you feel more part of the show. Go ahead. And by the way, Garrett, when we play softball, Christina gets 4 strikes.
I won't need that.
Yeah, okay. All right, go ahead, George. Give Christina the 3 headlines. Go ahead.
Okay, one is from ex-Governor Edwards, that I had the landscape for.
You're a landscaper for the former governor of Louisiana who just got out of jail, married and impregnated his 32-year-old pen pal from prison. I see.
Right.
Okay. All right.
I'm careful that one, but
Next one.
Okay, there's another one where almost got shot and killed at a goddamn corner mark in a robbery. And there's another one where I walked into a goddamn supermarket in Louisiana and almost had the shit beat out of me from a guy with his pants hanging off his ass.
Well, number 3's a winner. Ding, ding,
No. You don't want to hear about when he was a landscaper for the governor?
that sounds slanderous.
What a chicken shit you are. We don't know who this guy is.
Exactly.
Well, we'll say a legend.
I don't know who this guy is, and I don't know if any stories he tells are going to be true or not.
All right.
I promise you,
Christina picked the one about...
true.
All right. You go into the store, and the guy almost beats the shit out of you. Let's hear that one.
Okay, that's the one you want to hear?
There's going to be racism in here.
I go into this goddamn supermarket. Have you ever gone in there and you got your basket and you pushing around and someone steals it?
What's that?
Someone steals your basket because you didn't put anything in it. That's why.
Well, I had some goddamn bananas in my basket.
Oh, boy.
I'm in the fruit section, and I'm going through. I put a whole rack of bananas in there, and then they got to steal it.
All right, hold on. I changed the story. Stop the story. Tell the one where you almost got shot. Tell the one. I want to go to the middle story, the one where you almost got shot. Go ahead.
Okay.
Change stories. Okay, you almost got shot. You went into, I believe, like a convenience store and almost got shot. Go ahead.
Yeah, I jumped out of my truck. It was about 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Walked in, was headed to the convenience store, and 2 guys, hooded, come up there and stuck a pistol in my goddamn throat and a shotgun in my stomach and said, "Give me everything you got."
Were you driving an Escalade? What kind of truck do you drive that they thought you'd have all this money on you?
I drive a 2009 Ford Explorer truck.
Oh, so it's kind of fancy, kind of shiny, right? You keep it nice?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
There you
But
go.
anyway,
Where was that damn dog when you needed him?
shit. Probably in my back pocket. I didn't have one.
Oh, okay. So now they put it in there. How much money did you give these two robbers?
Well, Jay, that's my point. I don't keep money in my wallet because I'm a heavy equipment operator and I done lost my wallet several times.
Sure.
So I keep my money in my pocket and maybe a couple dollars in my wallet just in case.
Yeah. So what did you say? Now you're about to be shot, murdered. Sure, you're very nervous. What did you say to the robbers?
I told him, I said, here, you can have my wallet. There ain't no money in there. And he took my goddamn wallet and I said, hey, you can have everything I got. You got my keys? You can have that too. He said, shut the fuck up and shut the door, lock yourself in it. And then the guy, he ran to the front door of the corner store. They locked the freaking doors.
So they locked the door when they saw the gun. They tell you to get in your truck and lock the door, right?
Right.
They have a useless wallet with $2 in it. Now what?
That's it. And the next day, well, the police came and they done all this shit, but that has nothing to do with seeing a goddamn pistol in your face.
Yeah. All right, wait a minute.
Gun in your stomach.
All right, hold on. Let's go to the first story about you. Maybe you were, maybe you weren't, the landscaper for the governor of Louisiana. Now, was this in Baton Rouge when he was the sitting governor that you were the proposed alleged landscaper?
Yes, sir, it was.
And what was your job exactly?
To build him a tennis court.
And you were building him a tennis court, and Governor Edwards was beloved before he went to prison. People loved Governor Edwards, and
Right.
were you a big fan of his?
I was until he voted that right to work in.
Oh, right. He ruined the right to work, did he?
Yes, he voted that in, and it killed the union.
Right. You were in a union. You were in a tennis court builders union at the time?
No, I was in a heavy equipment union, local.
I got you. So now you're working for him, and what's your story?
Well, I went over there. I did jobs on the side, and I was the one to grade out with the dozer, to grade out the tennis court, and then have the other crew come in. Well, his wife came out. They had the gazebo. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this, but.
Well, no, this is alleged. This is all alleged.
Well, she came out about 9 o'clock and sat in that gazebo, and they had I don't know if it was a butler or a maid or whatever he was. He would bring out martinis, and she'd sit there and watch. I worked the whole goddamn day until about 3 o'clock when he came in. He come in his big suit and.
Now wait a minute. They're drinking martinis. What's wrong with that? They're drinking martinis.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that, but you don't start at no 8 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, at 8 in the morning, his wife was drinking martinis.
Yeah, sitting in the gazebo watching me grade out this damn.
George, it's fucking Louisiana, George. Okay? What are you talking about? People start drinking at 7 o'clock in the morning. That's your story?
No, hell no.
You wasted fucking 3 fucking stories.
Hell no, that ain't my story.
Well, what's up? Did he get on top of her when he got home?
No, but when the story starts is when he came home. He dressed in his blue jeans and little T-shirt, and I'm running this goddamn dozer. It's like a small 450, and he wanted to ride down at the bottom, and he had the biggest goddamn gravel you'd ever see in his driveway going down a hill. He wanted to ride on the dozer. Well, my damn dozer wasn't
What is this guy even saying?
Wait a minute.
What?
The governor wanted to ride on your bulldozer? That's the story?
For 9 minutes.
Yes,
You know what?
he wanted to ride on my
All
boat.
right, George, I made a big mistake. I thought maybe... You
Oh,
can't
the
tell
real story is-
you don't tell a fucking, you're the worst storyteller. If I'm a great storyteller and that's a 10, you're a minus 97.
I know it. I don't give a shit.
Get rid of this fucking idiot. I've wasted 9 fucking minutes
9
on
minutes
this.
and like 47 seconds.
God damn it. It makes me mad. I'm losing my grip, I guess. I used to be able to, I could tell, Garrett. I could tell it was going to turn out okay. I'm losing my grip. Okay, April Fool's. I pretended I was losing my grip for a minute. I knew it wasn't going to be good. April Fool's. April Fool's. All right. We'll be right back.
The Jay Thomas Show. 4 idiots by idiots. Non-stop idiot action. The Jay Thomas Show. He's the afternoon guy. On Indy. Sirius XM 104. And on the Sirius XM app for smartphones. Indy.
Tell you what's happened in 5 years. George was funny 5 years ago, right?
Ooh.
God, I am so sorry. That's awful. Usually better at that, you know? Someone sent me a note at jthomasshow@gmail. How come I haven't mentioned the 6'8" Baylor woman that plays basketball that I jumped all over the last couple of years? You know, I didn't watch that game, but she lost by 1 point. Her name is Brittany Griner from Baylor. They only lost one game. They were 34-1, and they won national championship before. They were trying to get past Louisville's women. Shoni Schimmel and teammate Sharoni Vales both have their fists clenched and are both yelling up into 6'8" Brittany Griner's chin. Literally look like they're threatening her.
What were their parents' names?
Oh, Shoni, I think maybe her dad made it with her mom out of Shoney's.
Oh,
Yeah. And then Sharoni, that's Sharon and Ron.
Ronnie?
Sharon and Ronnie. Sharoni.
I never knew that's how they did it.
Yeah, it is. It's a mixture of two names. Or a grandmother or whatever. So this poor 6'8" woman with this man's kind of a voice, that's it for her. She's now this big 6'8" giant woman.
You don't think the WNBA is a promising career?
I don't even know if it's still even a league.
That's a good point.
Giant.
Maybe the revamped lingerie football league, which is called something else now.
The only place in the world that she would be truly comfortable and could be fine, whether she's a lesbian or a heterosexual, is Amsterdam. They have the tallest people in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to Amsterdam.
They have the whitest people, too.
That's true, but she'll be fine.
Yeah.
I didn't see a woman under like 5'10". And they're riding on bicycles, and I don't know what a short guy does there. I don't know what some little Italian guy would do. And the guys all look like they play, volleyball for, thank you. They all play professional volleyball. The biggest people you've ever seen. The tallest people. She would go there. She would be tall, but there'd be plenty of males or females for her. Now, that's one of my recommendations. I've told you this. Go to another country where you fit in. If you don't fit in here, if I was downtrodden and my life wasn't good, I'd pick a country like Estonia. And I would go there, learn the language, and then I would become a part of the community. And I bet you I'd kill them with all the things I know about, business, broadcasting, the United States.
Yeah.
Did we have a woman that told us, how do you say the 12 months of the year in Estonian one time?
It's how to say 12 months.
I just say 12 months.
Yeah.
It's a lovely language.
Here we
Here
go.
it is.
Kaksteist. Is it like a bad word? Cox tastes good. Cox tastes good. I can say it over and over again, okay? Cox tastes good. Ik ska ligga upp på det. Oj då. Det bad word, huh?
Cox tastes good.
It's a chew, Cox. Cox. Taste. It's not funny. It's not funny anymore. I don't want to explain it. Come on, let's say.
Cox tastes good, or Cox taste means 12 months?
Cox tastes good means 12 months.
What I love about the Estonian girl is she goes, it's not funny anymore. She's correct.
Well, because people are laughing at her.
Oh. Let's go to Justin on line 3, the Jay Thomas Show. No, the joke was over. She did it 3 times, it was over. She's probably a stand-up comedian in Estonia.
So it's spelled Kaksteist, which I guess is 12, Kaksteist.
Kaksteist.
And then Kuud.
Kud. Kaksteist Kud. Oh, I could learn that language in a minute.
Nice. I'll ask you in 5 minutes how to say it.
Kaksteist Kud. Yeah.
You don't think you'll forget?
You know what 6 months is? Pussy tastes better. That's 6 months. Pussy tastes better. You know what 1 month is? Taint. Taint.
The top comment is, imagine if you're a judge in Estonia and you have to throw down the gavel and say, Cox tastes good in prison. Because it's 12 months in prison.
Je wag to focus und to Cox tastes good. You've been sentenced to 12 months of the year. Justin, go ahead. It's Jay Thomas. Go ahead.
Just wondering if you could get Donald and Honey together.
That's your mom and dad, Donald and Honey?
Hold on. Honey and Donald.
Honey, and you want it to man. See, I want it to be a man's name. And you're Justin, so they didn't do.
Yes, sir.
I was really good at this in the beginning.
You are.
Hold on a second.
I got time.
Instead of Harold, I'd call you Hunold.
What?
Hunold. Your name'd be Hunold. No, it's like a guy's name because of the hard H, but it'd be Hunold. What do you like, Garrett?
I like D''Oni. D'Oni.
No, that's done, the D'Oni. That's done. How about this one? Donny. Donnie.
No,
I like Honold. I like Honold. Yeah.
I'm Polish.
Honold.
All right.
Like Honey and Donald. Honold. My name's Honold. That's all. Like honey. Honold. That's it. Honold.
Yeah,
thank
we'll
you.
go with it.
Oh, you know what? You don't need to go with it. That's the name.
I didn't really like it either, to be honest.
Well, what would you do?
D'Oni.
D'Oni?
I kind of like that.
I think I've heard that name before. D'Oni. Let's go to Charles of Baltimore. This bit's over after this. It's like that girl says. It's not funny anymore. This is not funny anymore. Do cocksuck. He was the governor of Massachusetts. Do cocksuck. Yes, Charles, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Jay. My father's name's Jesse, and my mom's name's Sandy Ego.
Sandy Hagen. All right, get rid of him. Get rid of him. I was writing it down like a fucking idiot. All right, you've ruined it for everyone. Take one more, John of Kentucky. Yes, John, go ahead.
Hey, man, what's going on?
Yeah, right. What are your parents' names?
My mom's name is Ima.
Ima? Yeah.
My dad's name is Fuckface Idiot with Bad Knees.
Fuckface.
You're writing it down?
Idiot, yeah, with bad knees.
You gotta write that down, don't you?
Yeah.
Been a long week for you, hasn't it, Jay?
It has been. God, you know what? I can almost smell the camels on your breath from here, okay? God, that's stinky. I'm a fuck-face idiot with bad knees.
You still trying to figure it
out? You know what? I just call you BJ. Or Kevin Ware.
That sounds pretty good, man.
How about this? Kevin Meany, is that what you said?
Kevin Ware.
Kevin Ware.
The
All
guy
right.
that broke
I
his
wonder
leg.
if Kevin Meany celebrates the 12 months of Christmas.
Yeah.
That's all I got, man.
Okay. What would that be in Estonian?
He hung up.
No, what's 12 months?
Cock tastes good.
Cock tastes good. Cristo. Let's go to Ed, who's in Charleston, South Carolina, where College of Charleston is, where the women to men, Christina, 7 women to every one guy on the campus.
Wow.
And I brought one of my boys there to look at it. They are the saddest looking women you've ever seen. They look miserable. They went there to, catch a husband or whatever the fuck. And there's these nerdy guys that go there, So, yes, Ed of Charleston, go ahead.
They all date the Citadel guys, the guys that are in the military school, though. That's what they, If you go down there during the day like today, it's like 75 degrees. They're all out sunbathing on the square.
Well, aren't they really there? Isn't this the old Southern thing? They send the daughters there to marry a guy from the Citadel?
I don't know. I took one of those horse and buggy tours, and this guy was, he was a native Charlestonian, and, his shit didn't stink. I mean, he was like higher than mighty, but he's right.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know. And all of their porches face sideways. Did you know that?
Right.
The porches aren't right on the street. They're all sideways because somebody said the breeze blows better if the porch is sideways. So you sit on your porch and you're looking at another person sitting on their porch right across from you.
I think the reason is that they didn't want, when the women would come out to cool off in the upstairs porch, they didn't want anybody looking up their skirts. I think that was the other reason they put it sideways.
Can you imagine back in the 1800s what Charleston must have smelled like with women airing between their legs out in the summertime? Jesus.
Well,
Jesus.
Yeah, is today your April Fool's show? Is that why things aren't going so well?
Things are going just great. And they'll be a lot better when you're no longer on the show. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. Hey, did we take a break already?
We took one.
I could use 5 more. By the way, Game of Thrones was good last night. I think they're setting it up and everything else. But what I think was really good is they had a red carpet for the Game of Thrones. Now, this show kind of snuck up on them, and they didn't realize it was going to be such a hit. And, Christina, they just look like normal people that were dressed normally going to the... I'm not joking.
No, yeah.
Maybe because they're English or whatever.
I think because they look so different in the show, too.
But the women's dresses were nice, but they weren't these ridiculous things. And the guys, all their suits looked too small, Garrett. The one guy didn't even have a belt on. He looked like a poor actor or waiter guy. And the poor midget, I'm so happy this has happened for him, but he'll always be a midget, a dwarf, right?
Little person. LP.
Yeah. And they
he's
say that.
He's a handsome one, though. At least he is
a handsome one.
because
and he
sometimes Peter Dinklage.
What's weird is when he gets out of a chair, though, his head stays at the same level. Like when I'm in a chair, I get up and my head is above where my...
Do you think that he gets a lot of women?
Probably. But I think he's also got to be horribly insecure. And he got incredibly lucky. And now there's all these little people who'd like to be as lucky as he is. And you know this. There's only going to be one real cripple in the movies. There's only going to be one person with a patch on their eye. There's only going to be, 1, 2, or 3 minorities from each group. And there's only going to be one dwarf. That's it. There are going to be lots of others that want it, but that's it.
Well, there's hope when those people die, though.
But isn't he like the serious dwarf, and then like Mini-Me is the comedy dwarf?
Boy, I bet you he wouldn't want to hear it. Now, he's really funny. You need to see the English version of Death at a Funeral. Oh, my God, he's hysterical. He's fantastic. Then, of course, Jamie Foxx or somebody tried to do it in the United States and fucking ruined it like they do every good movie, you know. Mm-hmm. Did you read about this woman in Manhattan, Cynthia Wackenheim, a lawyer? She was on child care leave from her job. She's an attorney. She somehow wrote that her son, Keston Bacharach, good God, had taken a few tumbles while she was watching him. There were two shameful events. He fell on the ground from some play set. She announces that she thinks he has seizures and that she caused him to have a concussion. She puts him in his baby seat. She straps him to her chest, and she jumps out of a 6-story window with the kid strapped to her. Did you read about this?
Not cool, Mom.
Wow. Wow.
Did he survive?
He did. She landed on her back and died instantly.
I was going to say, he's like in a car crash, sort of.
She wrote a 13-page suicide note.
Ugh.
Right?
He was in an Ergo baby carrier. This is the worst case of postpartum depression I can imagine. They have these kids. I mean, I don't know if they're taking pills or whatever. And she's older, right? So she's had a baby when she's older. And the fucking, the facts are just over 35 years old. It's a mess. I mean, everything doubles over 35. 40, forget about it. You're like at a 1 in 4 chance of something happening. And then she went completely fucking nuts and jumps out of the window. And they show her, smiling. I've said it before. When you're not
she's jumping out the window?
No, in a wedding dress.
Wedding dress.
Past life.
And this Mariel Hemingway, who used to be the big model, who's, Ernest Hemingway's great-great-granddaughter, they show her now. Her new thing is she has a private garden, much like my cousin's garden. Her new book, The Willing Way, Stepping into the Life You Were Meant to Live, with Mariel Hemingway and her husband or partner, Bobby Williams. Now, Bobby, 49 years old, is an adventure athlete, stuntman, and actor.
Wow. Jack of all trades.
You betcha.
Wearer of many hats.
And knows how to bang an ex-model with a ton of money good and listen to all of her bullshit. Why she's depressed. And all of her sister took an overdose. Her great-granddad blew his brains out because he had diabetes. She said other people crazy. And now, I just don't think you want to read a book about somebody who's completely fucking nuts, who says that they're okay and they're growing a little garden and they have turnips and they have, beets and shit in the backyard. You should read a book about a person who says, I was born, I had all this stuff happen, I just stayed cool. I'm totally fine. Probably had normal depression, but exercised and realized that those people had nothing to do with me. I didn't cause their displeasure at all. Never drank a lot. I'm just fine. That's the book. That's who we ought to be reading books about.
Regular Joes?
No, every ex-alcoholic, every ex-con, every ex-wife beater, every ex-whore writes a book telling us we're fucking normal. So if the majority of people are normal, I don't want the minority assholes writing a fucking book because they got up to speed. Like, I was completely fucking nuts. Wow. Went to therapy. I took all these pills. I exercised. And now I'm fine. Took me 29 years. I'm fine. Well, fucking welcome. I've been here for a long fucking time, and so have millions of others.
Are you fine?
I'm fucking perfect. How can I not be fine? Whatever depression I have or whatever bullshit troubles I have are totally made up. Have to be. I live in a lovely place. I have a great family, except that my kids can't miss a fucking car that's parked every 6 months. Crash into them. Other than that, you should have heard the adjuster call me. Mr. Thomas, you're the holder of the insurance. We must call you and tell you that your son Beavis has run into a parked car, and we're dealing with it. I hope he and his passenger are all right. Like that. That's what they're saying. She's being so kind, right? I got to call her back. Found my son in a fetal position, crying in the bedroom, Garrett, after fucking crashing his fucking car into a parked car. Fearful I was going to beat him.
Ha!
Well, maybe,
I should be right.
He reminds me of me as a young child.
Maybe simple activities.
Not a young child. 22 years old.
Well, I was
in a fetal position. Frightened of what Dad's going to do.
I rolled down the driveway because I didn't put the car in park. Talk about a fetal position. Hit a tree. I tried to stop it with my feet. The car, like a Flintstone.
Well, maybe
why do you put the brakes on?
I turned off the car without putting it in park.
She was stoned.
I was not.
But wait a minute. The brake would still work, wouldn't it?
I did everything I could, and nothing happened.
You put it in neutral.
I rolled down the driveway, across the street, into a ditch, and the door was open, so there was a tree there, so I bent the whole door back.
No, you put it in neutral.
Well, now it's fine. I mean, it's 12 years later.
Did you hit the brake one time?
Yeah, I hit the brake, it didn't work, and then I threw my feet out of the car like a Flintstone. That didn't work either.
You could have broken your feet, your legs.
That's what I was told, yeah. I could have ran over myself.
Well, guys, maybe simple activities like watching a sunrise instead of sleeping in, or drinking water out of a glass instead of plastic, or taking time to be in silence instead of always listening to things out there.
Is that Mariel Hemingway?
The Willing Way. Where Mariel and Bobby Williams share the dynamic and authentic approach to living mindfully and healthfully, offering concrete action steps that readers can take and even track through a multifaceted point-earning system.
Your April Fool's joke is boring, Garrett.
Imagine living your life on a point system by Mariel Hemingway. I watch the sunrise instead of sleeping in. That's 1 point for me.
Well, she lines it up and says, drugs, thought about suicide. I'm thinking, yeah, right. Grow a fucking garden. I mean, what are you, nuts? And finally, here's my favorite. High-powered New Yorkers are now giving Tanya Zuckerbrot $10,000 for 10 visits to her office for the small price of eliminating pounds that have plagued them for years. Miss Zuckerbrot, who is, 42 years old and pencil thin, her book, The F Factor Diet, Discover the Secret of Permanent Weight Loss, The Miracle Carb Diet. She tells people like Donnie Deutsch, Molly Sims, Dylan Lauren, Ralph Lauren's daughter. Miss Zuckerbrot tells them they can eat certain foods, but before they go into an expensive restaurant, they call her or text her, and she tells them what to eat. Her diet plan gives clients permission to eat carbs, and she also makes sure that they each have 4 high-fiber crackers, like a Thin Crisp, or a GG brand crisp bread. She sells them, but they're not part of the $10,000. Before you go into the restaurant Nomad, which the average meal is $150 a person, I call Miss, what's her name? Zuckerbrot.
Yeah.
And the staff has the food I can eat waiting for me when I arrive. It's unbelievable.
Wow. It's a pretty bad business model. I mean, how many people can you?
Apparently, quite a few. Zuckerbrot.
But then they're all calling you at the same time at 6 o'clock at night or 7 o'clock at night, asking what.
For $10,000, she tells you to cut out white pasta, pizza, white rice, frozen yogurt, gummy bears, and sugared cereal. It's unbelievable. Lisa Osorio of New York and owner of Casa Los Charcos, a vacation villa company, says that once a month for half an hour, she pays one of her associates $600. You can see somebody else. $600 for half an hour.
Just to talk about what you're going to eat?
Yeah, and if you go to a restaurant, you can text them before you go into Burger King, you know? That kind of bullshit. Unbelievable. I hope lightning strikes every one of these sons of bitches who I don't know why they've been given money. I don't know why they've been given the privilege over us. But trust me, there was a war in heaven and God lost, and the devil has been in charge for a long, long time. I can prove it. Look around.